We start out on this new road. No turning back. But we have our ancestors with us. We're going to continue to dance with them. Dreaming them. Calling them. Seeing them. We are becoming what we were.
It is part of the Mayan prophecies.
7 triangles of light.
Keep walking. You are the spirit of Unapu. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapu.
People who say that the gods made them from corn. They planned their lives according to the heavens. Well versed in astronomy, using a sophisticated mathematics, they calculated the movements of the night sky thousands of years into the past and thousands of years into the future. They knew that the universe moved in cycles. Their lives were ruled by the rhythms of the natural world, planting and harvesting, birth and death, just as the great tree of life emerges from the earth.
Always they're connected. Science and religion.
In dreams, we learn from the Maya gods when to plant and when to harvest, when to set the fire, and when to do the corn ceremony.
What we're digging up, what we're coming up with is part of our history. And the men that lived here are some of the greatest men we've ever had. And it's a fact that we're getting to know more and more and more about the life of these people.
They still maintain their customs, they still maintain their ways of organizing their societies. And it's very exciting to see how much of the ancient Maya way of life is still alive as well.
Because American history does not begin in 1492 with Columbus. It begins in 200 BC with the first Maya king who wrote his name on a stone. What is happening now is the people who made these places, people like Yashpak or Bird Jaguar or Fakal, are getting back their voices. They are becoming real to us and speaking to the people of the 20th century about who built this place and why and what they felt and what they thought about the world. These are not anonymous people anymore.
You are the spirit of Unapu. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapu.
Yo, LA natives. Hello. Welcome, community, once again. I'm super happy and excited. Can you pass me that real quick? Muchas gracias. Super excited, super honored to have a very talented brother who I've known for a very long time. I've known this brother since he was 17 years old. And I've never met someone at that age tell me that they're going to be like a rapper and live off of it and actually do it. And he didn't just do it because somebody he knew was in the industry, or he did it because he worked his butt off. He took opportunities to learn from his mentors in a very special place that was in the valley that gave birth to El Vuh, which is the Achuchas. I met this young man there, and I'll never forget his face, because the first thing he told me when I was walking into the show was, "Hey, can I film you?" And he gave me this feeling like, wow, this brother really likes my music enough to say, "Can I film you?" And I went, "Yeah, dude, what do you mean, can you film me? I don't own anything." And I didn't think of myself. I was trying to be humble, you know? But in hip hop, you have to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, or I don't know. But I suppose has been in my life for a very long time. And I'm honored that he comes to this small podcast and shared his audience, because his audience is massive. If you don't follow I Suppose, you need to go follow I Suppose. I Suppose doesn't only write good hip hop music that'll contend with anybody in the underground, but he's a talented video producer and cinematographer, because he did my Doctrine of Discovery video. If you haven't seen that, go see that. It's on YouTube. I am taking 3 minutes to introduce this brother because that's how much I respect him. Welcome, I suppose, to LA Natives Podcast.
Yo, thank you, man. That was kind of got teary-eyed halfway through that introduction. But no, man, it's an honor to be right here. LA Natives Podcast. A lot of history, man. So I'm excited to see what we get into today.
Absolutely, brother. Like, talk to the people about what I Suppose is. How did he become this guy right now in the moment?
Well, it's pretty crazy, bro, because I always tell people that I have like multiple lives. You get me? Like,
yeah.
Like for 90% of the people that support me right now, my career probably started in 2013, which is when my music started spreading as a solo artist. I started building up a fan base. I started doing shows for, the younger audience. I started touring, basically becoming the I Suppose that my fans, my supporters know right now. You get me? But my history in hip hop started in 1999, 98, 99, 2000, and really officially 2001. So I have about 13, 14, 15 years of rich hip hop history,
right, that
brought me to the next level. And that's kind of something that a lot of the people that support me don't even know. Like I don't know, a lot of them probably think I just was born in 2013, so it's kind of dope to do this interview with you, because it's like you say, we go way back. So yeah. A lot of the early origins and as far as like me as a person and artist, and it's dope to kind of,
Well, I seen a young kid with the camera soaking up everything. Like, it wasn't like, I Suppose didn't go, oh, the next show with the indigenous chain. Nah, he was there though. And he's like, what is this? Yeah. I'm learning from this. What is this? How come all these people are here for this group? I like the group. I don't understand what they're saying. But how did they do this? I saw that in your eyes.
Yeah, and all right, let's go way back. So we're gonna go back to like 2001, which is a couple years before I found out about El Vuh. But in 2001, I'm a freshman at Sylmar High School. My first week there, I had all these people that knew me from middle school that were like, yo, what's up? You rap? You rap? And I was like, yeah, rap. They're like, oh, everyone says that you were the rapper in junior high. You get me? What do you go by? And my name was OGC.
OGC.
Original Chucky. I got the Chucky tattoo somewhere right here.
There you go. Show them Chucky.
The Chucky tattoo.
Nice.
To a lot of people that know me right now, my name's Chuck. Like, hey, what's your name? Oh, Chuck.
Before you go any further, when someone told you during that time in 2000 that you rhymed, you better have rhymed really good. Well, because they will laugh at you.
No. Okay.
Right?
So here's the whole thing. So it was my homie Supreme, my homie Santiago, right? He was like, what's your rap name? I was like, OGC. He goes like, let me hear you rap. And I was like embarrassed because I could freestyle, right? But at the time, I was trying to emulate the Chicano rap, gangster rap world.
Okay.
So I was on some like
give me an example of like who you're like rapping like.
Like, hey, little fucking snitch, fucking put you in a ditch, you little bitch.
Like
I'm a fucking gangster, you're a wankster, you're a prankster, like.
Right. The development of rhyme.
Yeah, I was listening to like, the the Mr. Shadows and the Little Robs and the Mr. Little Ones and like this whole like what what people consider Chicano rap and there's a whole argument on that whole concept itself. But for me as a 12, 13 year old, I was like, yo, I was drawn to that because these were the only type of artists that weren't famous, but were at the swap meets. Right. So like I was fascinated with going to a swap meet and seeing CDs of people that weren't on TV, and I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And I thought, like, in order to come up, you have to be like them. You get me?
But that goes exactly about what I saw when I first saw you.
Yeah.
It's a young kid just going, what? These guys aren't famous, but they're on a CD.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yes.
And you just,
yeah.
Every time I saw you in your life, you just went. So keep going.
So then I go into high school, and that's when everyone's like, yo, you rap? Rap. And I was like, nah, man. So there was a cypher the first day of high school, Sylmar High School.
Wow.
And all these dudes started rapping, and they were on some MC shit. Microphone check, I rack 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 kill MCs. You know, in my head, I'm like, MC? Like, what the hell's an MC? I'm a rapper.
Because Little Rob and them, they don't really focus on that.
And I mean, I knew about other, I used to listen to Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and I knew about hip hop, but I just wasn't that as far as an artist. You get me? I was just focused on just like rap, street rap. And it really started because I had a homie in middle school who I've been trying to get a hold of since middle school. And he was like a little cholito. And we used to rap together, so I was like, he's a cholito, I'm a cholito. But I was not a cholito. You get me? So anyways, back to ninth grade in high school. I start seeing these dudes rap on some MC stuff, and I'm like, yo, I need to step it up. Like, this is not the way, like, what the hell is this? So I started soaking up game. Shout out to my homie Santi, who he was like a big inspiration for me back then, because he used to be on some like lyrical pedigree, energy, melody, memory, Wow. And I was still on some like, you're fucking whack, take that shit back. You get me?
Yeah.
But I could do it for like an hour straight.
Right.
So I knew how to rap. I just didn't have the subject matter. Right. A week later, bro, someone called me out for a battle. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go battle this fool. So he's like, yo, what they call you? At the time, I used to think I was a tagger. So I was like, damn, I need a name. Like, right. So I was like, MC Graphics. Okay. You get me? That was my first official rap name, MC Graphics. Nice. And then I battled the dude as MC Graphics, and then that name kind of stuck. You get me? Towards the end of high school, I found a DJ who's a really good friend of mine right now, and his name is DJ Graphics. So he came up to me and he was like, yo, what's up? That's my name. Like, he was an older dude. That's my name. People are confusing me for you, like,
Well, at least you're good enough to be
confused
for
so, and he was popping, and I already had known about him when I came up with my name, so I almost felt like a biter. So I was like, hey, ain't no drama, bro. I'll change my name. We became good friends after, but at the time, I was like, I'll change my name. So then I went through a lot of like different name transitions, like Energy, Energize. I was really into Jedi mind tricks. Yeah. So for a while, I became a Cataclysm, the evil lyrical cataclysmic act of God. That didn't stick. That didn't stick. Like, these names lasted a week, and eventually, I came up with I Suppose, right? Since 2004. But I'm gonna rewind a little bit. So during that whole era, the high school era, 2001, 2, 3, the only way you could get hip hop for us in the Valley was house parties, and then people freestyling at house parties. What was big around that time were the punk and the ska shows. There was a lot of different groups. In Sylmar, you had the Mindsets of Threat, you had Lost Identity, you had like these bands that were very popular in the town, Yeah. And we were always like, how can we be down with that? Like, how can we be involved? Like, there's a little world going on. We didn't know about the hip hop scene in LA. We didn't know about anything outside of our little town.
Right. And how old were you around that time?
Well, this is still 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, so you're not gonna go far.
Yeah. Like we don't drive. We don't know anything, right? But down the street was Tia Chucha's, which was a cafe bookstore, you know, and they have their open mics, they have their events, they do their book readings, they, you know, it's a very cultural place. And even though our style of hip hop, we didn't relate to it 100% because we went there and people were on some like indigenous cultural stuff. You get me? And that's where we saw you guys, you know, and you guys were on this whole new like wave and energy. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Can I cuss right here?
Yeah, of
good?
course.
All right, cool. I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, I've never heard some shit like that before. And really, that's why I became a real big fan of you guys, because it was the first time I've ever heard anyone rap like that at all. You get me? Right. And I was just like, yo, that's fucking crazy. Like, I wasn't rapping like that. You get me? But I just appreciated it for music and stuff. But Tia Chuchas became that place where we would go when they had the open mics. But again, it was something real dope because it was a platform for artists to speak their minds. Right. But I didn't 100% identify with it. You get me? Because it was like we'd go there and get soaked up in all this energy, but then I'd go back to battle rapping fools about like, I'll cut your mama's titties off, you know? And so we couldn't do that there. So I was like, there has to be somewhere else, you know? Like there has to be another like platform for us outside of school. Because, you know, since early on, I was thinking, how can I take this to the next level? You get me? So 3 shops away from Tia Chuchas, a hot dog place opened. And that hot dog place was there shortly, right? It was owned by some guy named D. Wise, who was a very known adult film star. What? Rest in peace. I saw on Twitter that he passed away recently.
Okay.
But it was this older dude who was a porn star, a porn actor. Right. And he opened up a hot dog spot, a couple spots from Tia Chuchas, called Hip Hop Hot Dogs and Stuff. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
It was a hot dog place. Like, you had Tia Chuchas right there, and then 2 spots down.
Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I do remember
so it was
that
like
spot.
this little, like,
hole in the wall.
Little hole in the wall, and it was called Hip Hop Hot Dogs and Stuff, right? So one time my sister picked me up from school. This was 2003. I was 16 years old, about to turn 17. And I told her, like, yo, what the hell is that? So let's stop by. So I stopped by. I went in there. I was like, can I speak to the owner? And he was like, yeah, it's me. What's up? I was like, so I go to Sylmar High School. I rap. All my friends rap. A lot of people, like, supporters in the school. Would there be any way we could do like an open mic here or a show? Right. He was like, yeah, sure. Whoa. He was like, sure. I was like, how many people you think fit here? He was like 15, 20, you know, like max. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So we booked the first show. So I booked the show right there.
Under, I suppose.
No, I wasn't I suppose yet. I was still
yet.
MC Graphics.
Okay,
I was still MC Graphics. So I have the flyers. They all say MC Graphics presents. And it was like hip hop hot dogs.
And you're 15 or 16?
16.
See, that level of promoting and making a flyer, like,
and was this
that doesn't come to like your 20, 19.
Was this pre-Rhymatics?
Oh, way.
This is like, well, he's not even I suppose yet.
I'm not even. So this is 2002.
MC Graphics.
2002, 2003.
Wow.
Yeah. So I pretty much asked him, can I throw a show here? They're like, yeah. I hit up my cousin Mimic. He had a group called By the Mantle. And he had a sound system. So I was like, yo, you guys down to put the sound system? I'll book the artists. Wow. We'll do the flyers. My cousin actually hand drew the flyer. We printed them at Office Depot, passed them out. The first show, we had like 200 people there, all from the high school. Wow. Like 200 people there. We had rap battles, right?
That's cool.
And by then, the other high schools, Kennedy High School, San Fernando, they all started sending their rappers to our spots. Yo, what's up? We're the best ones in this school. We want to battle whoever's dope in this town. Wow. So we had this whole like, this is, and the great shit about the whole battle shit is that we were doing it before 8 Mile came out. You get me? So when 8 Mile came out, that was like our movie. Like, yeah, that's representing us.
Well, that's what I meant about, like, if you said you were a rapper, like, you had to be good. Yeah. You had to be good. Like, to get to these levels, even though they're underground and you get laughed at and just booed off. Like, why are you even doing that?
Yeah. So I had to learn very fast, bro. In high school, for some reason, that whole few years, there was a lot of MCs, a lot of people into hip hop, and we were battling different crews. We were like traveling to other schools. We had homies that used to ditch into our school. Like they went to other schools, they'd come to our school, they'd hop the fence, and then battle our enemies at the school. Cool. It was like just a whole crazy. I can't even explain it to people, bro, because it was just a crazy.
It makes sense on why you're so good at it, like freestyling.
Yeah.
But at that age, though,
an aggressive, like
we're the same age, I suppose. At that time, I always, for some reason, was in arm's reach of like a CD collection.
Yeah.
Of dope hip hop. Were you that type of kid?
Okay, so prior to the Chicano rap thing that I was into, I used to be big into like Master P, the whole No Limit. You know, I was into like stuff like that. My brother was a real like hip hop head, right? He gave me a box of CDs, maybe like 200 CDs, right? He gave me a box of CDs. I went through them, bro. Out of like the 200, 150, I maybe put aside like 5 for me. I remember it was like.
But you listened to them.
It was like Ludacris. No, just the ones that I kind of knew. You know, it was like Ludacris.
Oh, so you didn't really listen to them?
No. So out of all those, I was like, I don't know none of this shit. Right. So I just took a Ludacris one. I took, I think, a Snoop Dogg one. I took I don't know what. I just took like 5 CDs that I kind of recognized at the moment, and the rest, I swear to God, I talk about this story. I have songs where I talk about this box. I took the box and I put it under the bed. That's it. Like. Fucking whack ass CDs, right? Right. This was like late 90s, early 2000s,
and
right?
Who gave you the box?
My brother, my older brother. So when I got into high school, that I told you that I was influenced by other dudes really on hip hop stuff.
Right.
I went back to that box. You get me? Yeah. I opened that box and you have, DMX. Now you have Cannabis. Cannabis became my favorite rapper and is still my top 1 rapper in the world. Wow. And it was because of that box. Wow. You had Nas, at that time, you had Nas, you had Wu-Tang, KRS-One, you had all these like crazy hip-hop albums.
Like golden era hip-hop.
That I had under my bed for years that I put to the side because I don't listen to this shit.
Because that's like early or mid-90s. Mid-90s is when that kind of stuff came out.
Yeah. Well, all these CDs were like from circa late 90s, early 2000s. All the stuff that came out right there. He also gave me tapes. You gave me.
So not like going to 80s.
Yeah, like shout out to the homie Chino XL, man. I always send him a picture of his first album on tape, and it's like red. The CD's red, and I have that because of my brother. You get me? And Chino XL, someone that I became a fan of way after, not when I was a kid, like way after my teens. Right. And the fact that I have his first album because my brother's like, here's all these tapes.
It's kind of like LA history.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least music history.
Yeah.
We have a very different music history than traditional like blacks or whites, right? Because we have to make our own shit. From the tape to the CD to the cover to the flyer, there is no fucking help. You got to figure that shit out. Yeah. So go on.
So, okay. We started the hip hop hot dogs and stuff, right? People always tripped out. Like people always like, yo, why are you doing a fucking show at a hip hop shop?
I remember going to Tia Chucha's just to go.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing, what the fuck is all these people doing?
Yeah.
Like who's doing this show?
And the name of the hot dogs were like the bling bling dog, the holler if you hear me. The money in a thing dog. Like they try to name them like hip hop stuff and stuff,
cool.
So
that's cool.
I started doing that every Friday, and I told the owner like, yo, I want to start stepping it up, So he came to me. He's like, we want to do our grand opening. He already been open for months, but he's like, we want to do our grand opening and make it big. Let's collab on it. So take in mind, I'm 16 years old, and we organized this first show, right? And I'm already like calling managers, trying to get prices. I'm already saving money. I'm already in that whole mind state. And the first show we do is Cypress Hill. We booked Cypress Hill, and like Cypress Hill in 2003, we're like, you get me? So we hit up Cypress Hill. We're like, we want to do this community event.
How did you get to that manager?
Well, we did it between the owner and me, and we're talking to people and stuff like that. So we basically made the Cypress Hill show happen, right?
Fuck. That's
We it gets promoted on Power 106. Right? And we're excited. You know, they're like Cypress Hill, and then, you know, MC Graphics and da-da-da. Like, it's our show. It's our event. All the local artists are like, let us open up, you know? So I started booking artists. It was going to be in the parking lot. Right. You know, we had a jumper, clown, whatever. And I guess Cypress Hill figured out, like, bro, this is going to be a little fucking family with jumpers and clowns shindig. Like, nah. So what ended up happening is that they ended up canceling last minute. And they sent out Mellow Mayonnaise. Oh. You know, which is their family. They're sending, you know, they send Mellow Mayonnaise, and we had DJ Yella from NWA right there. So hundreds of people showed up. They were pissed off. They had Cypress Hill records. They were all pissed. They're like, bro, we came to see Cypress Hill. Like, why the fuck, you know, why y'all give us Mellow Mayonnaise? And at the time, Mellow Mayonnaise wasn't really active, you know? So so it seemed old school to people. Like, damn, we haven't heard about them since a while. Like, why are you guys... So people were pissed. A lot of people
that must have been a tough gig for Mellow Mayonnaise.
Yeah. So, and then he didn't even, like...
Did he play the song?
Nah, like, he didn't even rap. He was just chilling there.
Oh, okay.
You get me? Like, it was just awkward, bro. So we're rocking in a hot dog shop. I perform, right? And this is the crazy backstory. So I'm rapping. Mellow Mayonnaise is right in front of me. Like, he's staring at me. Oh, wow. And I rap. And then after, I was like, so, like, what do you think? You know, this is my first time in front of a legend, like, trying to get some pointers. Like, I'd never rapped in front of a famous person, you know? Right. He's like, yo, man, it's cool, but you move too much. Because I used to grab the mic and be like, yeah, yo. Right. That was my whole energy before, you know, with Rhymatics, with all my, like, we were like the hype. We wanted to be like Wu-Tang, you know? So he's like, yeah, man, you rap, you move too much, you're too sloppy. He goes, just grab the mic and just relax and just rap. And in my head, I was like, you don't fucking know me, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, hell no, bro. I'm going to still do what I, you know? But it always stuck. I'm like, damn, my first experience with the legendary artist, like, basically told me I sucked, or like that I just wasn't doing it right. You know? So I was like, oh, whatever. So fast forward.
You're 16 though.
Yeah, I'm 16, but I'm gonna go back to when I'm 16, but on the Mellow Mayonnaise thing.
Like, to react that way is normal because you know, you're 16. You're like, how's this older guy gonna tell me how to do it?
He's like, don't move too much, right? So in 2011, right, I was hosting an event, whatever, and I saw Mellow Mayonnaise outside, and I was like, let me go introduce myself to him. I've been grinding in the LA scene. Maybe he knows who I am now. Right. You know, you always want to have that, like, yeah, tables turn. Yeah. So I go up to him like, hey, man, what's up? He's like, oh, what's up, man? I was like, oh, I was hosting the battles right now. You know, it was a producer battle in Pasadena at the Terrace. He's like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah, man, my name's I Suppose, bro. Like, check it out. Back in 2002, like, I told him the story. I was like, I was rapping, and you basically, like, told me that I was moving too much. And, you know, he was like, all right, yeah, cool, man. Like, he didn't give a shit. He was like, all right. Like, he probably hears these stories every day, you know? So he was like, okay, like, good for you, bro. Keep doing your thing. Right. So I was like, whatever. Right. Fast forward 2015, right? There's a freestyle concert, like the free, I don't know, like one of those like 80s freestyle retro concerts and shit. Yeah. Like Debbie Deb and like Stevie B, like you know, like yeah. So I get tickets for my sisters and my brothers for Christmas. Right. You get me? So we're gonna go to this thing in Wilmington. And Mellow Mayonnaise was performing. Yeah, Wilmington is all these like old ass people. Yeah, they're all singing all this stuff, and I'm just right there, like we're all getting drunk. Mellow Mayonnaise performs, and then he gets off stage and he's just posted right there. My brothers, who like my brother and my brother-in-law, who, you know, they grew up in the 90s, right? They're like, oh, Mellow Mayonnaise, like, yo, he's a fucking legend. Like, we want to meet him, you know? So I was like, go up to him. Like, they're like, nah, go up to him. Like, go tell him if we could take a picture. I was like, in my head, I was like, all right, whatever, let's go. So I was like, hey, man, Mellow Mayonnaise, much respect. Like, you think my brother and my brother-in-law could get a picture? He's like, yeah, man. So he was kind of like, took a picture with him. And I was like, all right, man, much respect. Call me I suppose. And he was like, I suppose? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, I heard about you, bro. You killing shit in LA. That's when I was touring. That's when I was yo, bro, you killing, you doing your thing. I know who you are, homie. Much love, much respect, you know?
Wow.
And my brother and my brother-in-law were kind of like, yo, he knows who you are. You get me? He knows who you are. You get me? So like, at that point, you know, I've had a lot of like legendary. In 2015, I had a lot of legendary artists like, yo, we fuck with you. We, you know.
I remember seeing you. I remember seeing you come out of. I was going to the Husky Radio interview.
Yeah.
And you were coming out of it, and you were telling me, "Oh, dude, we just played with Mobb Deep." I was like,
"Yeah,
fucking Mobb Deep."
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like, because those guys, one of those guys is gone, or both of them. I don't know. Both
yeah.
of them
No, just one.
But that's the type of shows you're.
But with the whole Mellow Man Ace thing, and the only reason I shared the story is because it was almost like it was a full circle. Like I walked out of there like cool, normal, like this. I'm grinding. This was supposed to happen.
Right.
But the young me, the 16-year-old me, was like, bro, this is crazy, because it all started with someone saying, nah, bro, like you move too much. You need to work on this. Right. To years later, like, oh, cool story, like. Took years later, like, yo, I heard of you. Like, oh shit, much love, bro. I see what you're doing, da da da. Right. So the narrative changed. Yeah. You know, and that just goes like, bro, like, work hard at something, and someone might not take notice then. Right. But eventually if you work hard enough, they'll know. You get me? Right. And I had a bunch of those stories. I could sit here and fucking name drop all day, but like, I had a lot of stories with people who, you know, people that I used to stand in line to go meet at meet and greets, then hitting me up like, yo, how can I get you on my album? And it's like a full circle thing. And
I remember that time.
Yeah, so that's always been the little cool part as far as the fan and hip hop, you know?
I mean, there's so much stories I have with I Suppose, because I remember I produced the mixtape that I'm selling now 8 years ago. I had a studio in the art district, and this person hits me up because I was renting my lobby, and then boom, guess who it is? I Suppose.
Yeah.
I mean,
I already had known you for a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I already had known you.
But like crossing paths, and I'm coming out of Husky Radio, I Suppose.
Yeah.
He's telling me about his grind, and I'm like, this kid's gonna be successful at what he's doing, because he's more relentless than I am. And I was relentless when El Vuh was playing Tia Chuchas. I mean, that's when we were going to Mexico City, we were going to Canada, I was dropping big money on, you know, promoting our group was what you do when you're independent.
Yeah.
Because there's a large investment, any independent artist out there, there's a large investment that goes into your own music until someone goes, oh, I can help you with that.
Oh, bro, for years, I was always broke. Yeah. I was making money, but I was always broke. And that's because I was in a weird spot in my career. I was in a spot where I had fans in different states, but not enough to invest and capitalize from it. So what would happen is I'd save $40,000, spend $40,000 just to go to these states, and meet the little bit of fans that support me, but not make any money, like lose the money basically. So
break even.
Right? No, not break even, break zero. Like I'm dropping 40K and I'm not gonna see anything. I'm losing all the money.
Wow.
You get me? Because it was just meet and greets. Like, I'm booking flights, hotels, traveling, just to meet the 14 fans in Kansas City, or the 14 fans in fucking certain state that are like, yo, I love your music.
Right.
You get me? And because, like I said, it was so new to me, like the fact that people love my music, that people were like, I'm a fan of your shit, that I was like, I gotta go show love to people in other states. I gotta go and, you get me? So I was literally like, I called them promo tours, because I was like, yeah, it's promo because I ain't making no fucking money back. And it was just meet and greets.
Right.
But I dropped thousands, and I was like, as a business standpoint, I was like, that's not the way to do it.
Right.
But I also felt like if I just sit around and wait till I could sell out an event in that state, it might not ever happen. You get me? So I just went. I saw it as a vacation, like travel.
But tell me that the next cycle didn't come back with more followers.
Oh yeah, no.
It's an investment.
You definitely grow, but the I say that to say this, that you have to take chances, and shit's never gonna be perfect.
Right.
You know, you can't sit there like, well, I know I could do a show and get 50 people, but I'm gonna grind to, like, I know I could get 200,
right,
and then I'll do it. Like, bro, just go for it.
Right. Right.
You get me? And so I was doing so much that
I want to share a story with you.
Yeah.
With the audience about I Suppose. He's telling me. I'm telling him, dude, El Vuh's getting back together. We have 4 songs, blah, blah, blah. And he's like breaking me down. But this and that and the other. And how's the show? And what's going to... And he's like, I'm hitting him with things that I'm just going, wait, whoa, maybe I'm not prepared to do this, right?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm not willing to... I don't even have that much material. You're asking me for so much material. I don't even have that, you know? And so it starts to become a reality is what I'm saying. And that's what I love about you. Because I could tell from that moment I met you at the Achuchas that any room you were in, you're going to suck in information.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, I know how to do this for myself now. And take the money to do it. That's
the reason why I always did things by myself. You get me? Since a young age, because I always felt like, bro, I hate viéndole la cara a people. You get me? Like asking for favors. I hate for people to like having to sell myself to people to where they believe in what I believe.
Right.
And I hate for people to take losses on me. I hate that. You get me? Like to this day, unless it's like an event where like homies and something that's like it's dope, you know? Like if I rock with you guys or some shit like that. 99.9% of the shows I've done in the last 5-6 years have been my events.
Yeah.
Because if they flop, no one gets hurt by it.
Right.
You get me? Like, and no one could promote to my audience more than me. Yeah. You know, when you're an independent artist that's very like conserved with just your fan base. You get me? Like you're not big enough to where like the whole world knows you, but you know you have a following enough where like it's my audience. You get me? Like if I throw an El Vuh show and you throw one, like yours will be more, you know? I'm not going to be able to tap into your...
I get it, because what you're talking about is what I think he's talking about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is as I studied your career, I seen you go out to these different states. I didn't see the video of that place when you did it, but I saw what you were doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw the little bit of... professionalism, how you're treating everything. And so I knew that the second time around or whatever you were going to do, whether it be, but when you go to, I lost my train of thought a little bit, but when you go to these states, the reason why you have so much control over this audience and you feel like, oh, wow, my audience is growing, I could see it, I can manage it, is because you really connect with them.
Yeah.
You give advice. Like if you're like the way I saw it, the way you were promoting to your audience, you were like, look, I'm 28. You are 16. This is my opinion about this role.
Yeah. That's how it's always been, you know?
And
like,
that's what created a massively loyal, strong. I mean, I seen your events. Now, when you would, I would go, man, I suppose going over there? Damn, fuck. I need to talk to I Suppose. I know I Suppose.
Yeah.
And then you see the second round, but with the film, and you're like 50, 60 kids.
Yeah.
Hey, but why? Because I Suppose gave me advice about my relationship. Because I Suppose said something that made sense to me. Because I Suppose takes time to listen to his audience.
Yeah.
That's brilliant to me.
Thank you, man. And that's really where it all stemmed from. You know, my whole concept of like, I always tell people like, in order to build an audience, like you have to have a connection with them on a small level, and that snowballs into something bigger.
Right.
But you got to have a connection. You got to interact, whether it's going on lives, whether it's remembering someone's name.
Right.
You get me? Like,
or giving good advice like you do.
Or giving good advice. There's times where I'm on live and someone comes up and I'm like, oh, hey, Rosemary, what's up? I'm gonna try to go to Pomona this year, you know? And they're like, you know my name and you know where the fuck I stay? Like, that's dope. You get me? And it's little things like that. You get me? Like,
and also another thing you do is because you came to a show that we did somehow and you brought another artist that was one of your fans who doesn't fit the model of a hip-hop artist, or she doesn't look pretty, but she was fire ass. Like you put her on the mic and she was like, brrr.
Yeah. And I remember I asked, I was like, hey, I have this friend who's trying to rap, you know, can she go on stage and perform for 1 minute?
And I was like, that minute blew me away because I saw what you were doing. You were giving confidence to a developing artist.
And that's exactly what my whole thing's been. you know, I'm one of those people now, and I've been doing good the last year and a half. But for a while, like I had a chip on my shoulder. I was one of those dudes that you know, you're either a diehard fan or you fucking hate me. You get me? Or there was artists that were like, yo, this fool's helping me with my career. And there's artists that were like, nah, fuck that fool, he's shady.
Well, because those artists feel like all I have to do is be a part of his tour.
And so, best believe those artists ain't doing shit.
Bro, the biggest answer I have to people now is like, look at all those people that like try to down talk on my name and disrespect. Like none of those people years later, no one's doing shit.
Yeah.
No one's doing shit.
But I think you're gone so far. Like you went from a battle rapper, a very talented MC. You're an entrepreneur at this point because you have Truth Clothing.
Yeah,
that's fire. That has its own. I mean, I see your IGs. Like, I was like, how do you get into the back of the post office? I mean, that's how many packages.
Well, with my experience,
that's how many fucking packages you're sending out.
Yeah,
you know?
they opened the door for me.
With my experience, well, I suppose you've laid out. This is how I see it. You've laid out a great template for up and comers to kind of like emulate in a way, but maybe twist it in their own custom way. Because your template, I believe, is one of the most effective independent underground techniques to have in this grimy, super overly aggressive alpha male underground hip hop community that we live in out here in LA.
Here's the power, though. That
Am I right? I suppose.
Yeah. No, you're
because it takes a certain individual to go through the mud out here in LA, especially in the underground scene.
But you need swords.
And for weapons. What I suppose, like for me, bro, like you were laying seeds for to anticipate what was gonna come 5 years later.
Yeah, and here's the thing that I always did my shit broke. Like I always said, bro, if you could apply what I'm trying to do, but put funding behind it, put someone with money behind it, someone who's gonna fund it, someone who's gonna help take it to the next level, like this could be amazing.
Yeah,
you get me? Everything I did, I just started doing it with like, let me see, my mom let me borrow $500 to make this shit happen. You get me? Like, bro, I sold. My mom still gives me shit for this, but my mom gave me a graduation ring, right? It was like $3,000 graduation ring when I graduated high school because I was dealing with like drug problems. I was fucking dealing with the court. Like I wasn't gonna graduate, and I ended up graduating on stage. I got my graduation ring. I sold that shit to throw a hip hop show. I sold it to be able to pay the deposit for the artist when I was promoting concerts. You get me? My graduation ring, bro. I sold that shit for $1,500, so that I could pay a deposit for an artist. That's how like much I believed in my shit. You get me? I was doing fucking crackhead shit, like selling graduation ring. You know,
right?
If you think about it, it's like, damn, that's fucked up. To me, I was just like, fuck, I got gold. Let me go sell this shit. But I sold a lot of shit to be able to throw shows that I was like, let me do this shit because investors don't see the vision or like I said, I always, if I take a loss, I take the loss.
Right.
I ain't bothering nobody. I'm not breaking relationships with nobody.
Absolutely. But you don't just do that. Like, let me run off your talents. You're a massive graphic designer. You have your own.
Yeah.
You do your own graphic design.
Everything.
I cannot do that. You film your own videos.
Yes.
Independently. You film and edit your own videos.
Yes.
You book your own tours.
Yes.
He books his own tours.
And I fund
graphic design, film, book your own tours.
Merchandise.
He writes his own lyrics because he doesn't use ghostwriting. And he's amazing. I haven't even gotten to his hip hop talent.
And I got a book coming out in 3 months.
This guy's amazing.
Which is self-published.
I mean, can I film you? Because this time I feel I feel like I can film you full circle here, bro. Because I'm proud of you, bro. You made everyone in our audience believe that if they work hard, if they soak everything in every room they're in, from Tia Chuchas to whatever it is, you can live off your music.
Yeah. But there's also like, when you put it like that, it sounds fucking amazing, you know, but there's also a downside to it.
Well, yeah, there's learning.
And
learning.
which hopefully we could transition into right now. The last few years have been, by the way, the music is dope as fuck. It's like, it's getting me in this emotional vibe. A little music in the background. I had the height of my career as far as I was being in a comfortable Get a little forward. I ain't trying to see my.
Okay.
I ain't trying to see my girlfriend because she gets me nervous.
Okay.
I see her. She's looking at me like, "Don't talk about that." No. I had like the height of my career, meaning it wasn't like the height of my career, but I was in a comfortable place where I was like, "All right, I'm leveling up. If I keep doing this shit, bro, in a year you could reach certain heights. You know, you could really." Change the game in a real way, like where it's not just a little like local thing where if you're involved you know what it is, you get me, it's gonna spread out and stuff like that. But what happens is that I hit like a depression, bro, and I just dropped the ball. I just decided, you know, one day I was just going through some shit, and it's pretty crazy what it was that caused it, but I just got very like uninspired, bro. I felt kind of disgusted with like the music, the way my music shit was going. And I just stopped. I just stopped making music, bro. I had songs. I was like, these are never coming out. I had videos. I'm never dropping them. Fuck the studio. Fuck music. Fuck. Wow. I stopped the mid tour. I was on the road. I had a tour. Wow. Everything was going good. I just stopped it. Stopped doing merchandise. Wow. I closed the Truth Clothing website for over a year. Generating no income, you know, like from being able to do a show and make a couple thousand and doing a merch drop and going on the road and making money. I fucking had no income, no nothing. And I just sat around and fucking got fat. Wow. And bitched about like my inner demons. You get me? It was a crazy.
But what was? Did you figure out like it? Because I didn't make it.
No. I know exactly what it was. I know exactly what it was, and it has to do with the fans, quote unquote fans, and this is where it gets a little deep. For some people, it could be cheesy, you know, but for me, it goes back to having a connection with the people that fuck with you, deep connection, right?
Right.
So, like you said, I was giving advice. If you look at the topics of my songs, you know, abuse, domestic violence, rape, drug addiction, depression, suicide.
I've never heard a song that describes a party, like a kid party, like, oh yeah, we snuck in and we had a bottle and we had two girls and I've never heard that song until I heard a song that you've done.
Yeah.
Describe it to the T.
Yeah, that was my whole thing. And so when I was doing this type of music, it attracts a certain type of listener. So I had people message me, fans, like, oh, this song about the girl that got raped and had to get an abortion. You get me? I went through that. Whoa. And I'm going through it. And this happened to me. And no one knows but you. Wow. So I had this deep connection, right? This is another story that I hate sharing. But I've had a girl message me literally 5 minutes after she had got raped by her dad. Huh, babe?
Wow.
And she was like, please don't. I was like, I had to report it, right? She had blocked me. Wow. She had unsent her messages. I was like, damn, what the fuck was her profile? You get me? Wow. But she came to me because, you know, I always tell them it's confidential, but she had a guy raped by her dad and she was on the side in her room crying. And her first thought was, let me hit up this rapper name, I suppose. You get me? I was at a home poker game with my brother. I was at a poker game. And I kept, like, you know, I'm playing poker and then I you know, I'm on my phone and I check my messages and I'm like, what the? I had to step out. You get me? So I called the girl. She had put my number. I was like, call me. She called. And then she started crying, sharing, you know, her story. And I was like, dude, we have to report this. Like, this. There's no way I'm going to be like, oh, little teenage girl got raped or something. And I'm just like, oh, I hope you're good. You get me? And she panicked because what I told her, she like blocked me instantly, whatever. And I just felt like fucking miserable, bro. I felt like, what did I do? Like, like what could I have done? Or what should I have done differently? Or what if, so I started happening a lot. Like people sharing their intimate stories. Right. Like not intimate, personal, deep, crazy stories, right? A lot. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of girls.
I know when you released that video, I went, I suppose is opening up a door that's like
girls and guys.
Wow.
Like teenage dudes, you know, like 17, 18 or 19, 20-year-old dudes are like, yo, I was molested when I was 6 to when I was 9 and your music. And now I'm just like, yo, like.
That's what you opened up a door.
So,
I said you opened up a door.
That world had me very consumed. You get me? I've been to clinics for teenage fans of mine that have tried committing suicide. There was a girl who, she was in the shower and she tried killing herself with my music playing in a stereo in the bathroom.
Heavy.
You get me? Yeah. My music, like, bro, my music's made to help you cope with emotions, not to fuel. Today I'm gonna kill myself. Let me play some I Suppose because that shit makes me sad.
Right.
You get me? So I went to go see her at the 48-hour, at the 48-hour like suicide watch.
Yeah.
Had to pretend I was her uncle. Went to go see her. I don't want to see you in here. I had to do that a lot.
Wow.
So I can't even focus on the rap shit.
Wow.
You get me? Because when I'm making music, doing shows or whatever, when I'm not doing that, I'm at dinner with my mom, and then I get a DM that's like, I want to kill myself. So now I have to tell my mom, like, all right, I'll be back. Let me go talk to this girl and convince her to not kill herself.
Wow.
Because if I say, oh, I can't right now, and then they kill themselves, what kind of guilt am I going to have?
Wow.
You get me? So there's this kid. We were in TJ. Me and my girl, my brother-in-law, my sister were in TJ. No, we were in Cancun, huh, babe? No, we were in TJ. This dude's like, bro, your song, my suicide letter, this and that. I want to kill myself. I hate life. I want to kill myself. Can you call me? Can I talk to you on the phone? It'd be great if I just talk to you on the phone and get some advice, right?
Wow.
I was like, tomorrow, bro, I'm in TJ, like partying in my head. I didn't say I'm partying, but I was partying in TJ, getting drunk, chilling, right? So I was like, tomorrow, and he'll message me tomorrow. Hey, can you talk today, man? Like, I really need someone. I was like, oh, bro, when I get back, I'm busy. You get me?
Right.
And because I get messages like that a lot, you get me? So I was like, everyone wants to kill themselves.
Right.
You're not supposed to take it lightly like that. But I was just like, all right, tomorrow. You know, you start putting people on the side.
It's like hard to take responsibility for traumatic, intergenerational trauma.
Yeah.
When you talk about molestation, when you talk about a loved one hurting another loved one, that is not stemmed from that generation.
Yeah.
That stems from 500 years of generations, because people don't know that they didn't conquer men. They abducted children and molested them, beat them, human trafficked them. And so now you have these barrios with people in it that come from that destruction. And so you're going, I'm going to help you because I care. But you're going, what the fuck? Everyone's like, I'm turning around, and then you look in your family, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me explain it so that people don't twist this into something that could be going, man, we're all fucked up. No, we're not. We've been abducted for 500 years as children and put into a system that human traffics, abuses, molests, and confuses communities. And it gets into the family core. And that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
There's a historical root to it. It's not just happening because we're fucked up.
Some people are pretty fucked up.
And some people are.
Yeah. So with this guy, and his thing wasn't sexual abuse, just to clear that out. His thing was just depression.
Other things, yeah.
Wanting to die, right?
Yeah.
So I put him on the back burner. Then he started messaging me again. But I felt like it was too much. Like, hey, bro, can you call me? Hey, what's up? Can you call me? Hey, you know? And a point where I got a little like, oh, bro, like, you get me? Like, I have my other things going on right there. So I just stopped replying.
Right.
A month went by, whatever. Now I'm in Cancun on a vacation with my girl. We're in Cancun. We're in a sweet, all-inclusive resort. We're about to go to Tulum. We're about to go to the Mayan ruins and enjoy life. And I get a message from the girlfriend of the guy. She was also a fan. She was like, "Oh, I'm depressed, whatever. My boyfriend committed suicide." I don't know who her boyfriend is at that point. Right. I'm like, "Oh, how?" Like he was like, "Oh, he was also a fan of your music." You know, I was like, "Oh, who was he?" You know, just the curiosity, like who was he? She sends me his Instagram, and it's him, the guy that was reaching out.
Wow.
You get me? And I just felt like that shit fucked up my trip. I felt like guilty, like for the sense of like. You know, I always said when I start making this music, you kind of sign on to the responsibility of like people are gonna come to you, and you got to be there, or else don't make this type of music. You get me? Like
especially if you take on topics that you're taking on.
Yeah,
those are deep topics.
And for years, I was always there. You get me? But then it just became consuming for me, like emotionally draining. Like to always be in a fucked up mood because you know that someone's trying to kill themselves every day, and you're always like, "Fuck," you know.
Well, you feel like this is what and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you achieve so much success and put things together so young, you feel like I can help everyone.
Yeah,
This is my journey. Look at how dope I am, and then it starts to get into your personal life and your time and you're going, what am I curing?
Yeah.
I don't even know the root of this problem.
Exactly. But look, so now I'm in the stage though where I'm helping everyone, right?
Right.
A lot of people are like, "You saved my life. You saved my life." Well, then 2000, we're in 21, so 2019, right? 2019, I call it the fake fan era of my career, right? A lot of people that had saved their life, a lot of girls that came to me with their abuse stories, that I was the only one that knew, started switching on me. You get me? Like, someone would post a picture like, "Oh, fuck, I suppose," and those same people that were diehard fans were in the comments like, "Yeah, he's whack, fuck him. I used to listen to him, not no more." And then, you know, people would start like blocking me and following me, like, "Yeah, I don't fuck with him no more," and blah blah blah. So it was I got a lot of that shit.
Wow.
From people that I was like, there's literally one of the diehard fans from before who went on social media and she was like, "He fucking scammed me for this and that," you know, because she didn't receive merch on time. You know, they started making fucking fake pages and scammer and this and that.
Wow.
Fucking ruining reputation, right? Which didn't do shit because our brand went on to grow the most it's ever grown after that. You get me? But she recently messaged me a week ago, like 3 times. I didn't reply. "I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for this. Your music really inspired me, helped me. Your music was there when no one was, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry." And the damage was done. I'm like, fuck no, you get me? Like but that happened a lot, bro, a lot. And I lost hope in people. You get me? Like for that moment in time, I was like, what good is a connection? Like what good is someone opening their most deepest secrets to you if a year later they could just flip and be like, fuck this fool. He's whack. Let me unfollow him. Let me not listen to him.
For me though, it's the development of a person, because you don't know what age they came into your music with.
Yeah.
And you have a focus, and like I said, you're a little older than them, so you have a different perspective when you write these songs. And unfortunately, somebody who is suffering from that kind of trauma, or not only just the sexual stuff, but the other stuff that you write about.
But what if it's
too.
just ignorance? What if it has nothing to do with that, and they're just like, fuck this fool?
There's no like for me, I don't put responsibility on people who are overweight.
Yeah.
If there's McDonald's, Burger King, and there's no education on how to deal with this problem.
Okay, so let me just make it more simple. Let's say I did an interview. Let's say right now we're having a good time, right?
Right.
Chopping it up. We're talking about deep stuff. We're good. You know, we've been good for years, 15 years
absolutely.
plus. 2 weeks from now. After today, we don't talk. We're good. You're like, yo, I kicked it with I Suppose. I'm like, I kicked it with Zero, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, I do a podcast.
Right.
They're like, what do you think about groups like El Vuh? And I'm like, trash, bro. Like, try to get all spiritual and deep. Like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, especially Zero. Like, that was trash. Like,
I have to.
How would you feel? Like,
well, I mean,
would you be like, oh, cool? Or would you be like, hey, I'm a little, like, or would you see me under a new light? Like, bro, can you really be a scum of the earth like that? Like, there was no altercation. There was no negativity between us. Like, can you really switch on someone like that?
No, not usually. But, you know, when you talk to me, though, I have a different philosophical understanding about life itself.
Yeah.
Right? You know, when it comes to me. And I know what you're trying to say with your metaphor. How do I accept someone who's not genuine, one, and then in your face they're like, oh yeah, we're cool, and then you go over there and you're like, I'm better than that dude. He's a fucking loser. He didn't even sell that many records. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? For me though, I quit arguing with people's perspective.
But if it happens often, you just go by more cautious of people.
I could see how, like, you're opening up with your audience, and then your audience is opening up with you. But since the maturity level or even skill level, whatever it is,
so
you could see it get rocky, and then all of a sudden, what I'm trying to say is, like, really traditionally, artists don't really solve problems for their audience.
Yes. So this is what
but you have.
But and I feel like that was my biggest mistake. As much as it was the biggest blessing for me, it was also the biggest curse. You get me? Early on,
I could see why.
Early on, I had other artists that were like, bro, because I used to put my number on social media, right? Call me, fans, come, you know. So they're like, why are you too close to them? When you get too close, they get too comfortable. And then they're not going to see you as like, wow, I suppose.
Right.
They're going to see you as like, oh, that fool? Yeah, I chop it up with him all the time. You get me? Like, I ain't no thing. And I said, yeah, but some people really need someone. You get me? And I didn't like the concept of an artist seeing fans and be like, nah, fuck them. I'm not gonna talk to them personally and help them because I want them to look at me as a rapper.
Right.
That was a facade. That was like, it was marketing. It was the shit you don't see.
Right.
The shit that happens when you market something, and I agree to it, to a certain extent. But for the type of artist I was, someone's asking me about they want to kill themselves, be like, nah, I'm not gonna reply to them because I don't want to seem too available to them. You get me?
I think that you took on topics that were brave and they're hard to manage on the long run.
Yeah.
Because you go, okay, well, I'm done with that song. I'm ready for this song. But people are still going, no, wait, I have a friend who has a friend who has a friend. It's like,
I have songs from 2013 and people still message me like, this song
this
I
type
relate
of
to,
stuff.
and it doesn't end. You get me?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you where it gets more extreme. So 2019, end of 2019, I said it's happening too much, right? Too many people that I thought were loyal fans are always gonna be there day one, turning their back on me. I took it to heart. I said, fuck this deep music, storytelling, deep emotion, no more.
Stop trying to heal the community.
Yeah. So I did an album called Anger.
Right.
And then that's my last album. I didn't even promote it. I just dropped it. And on that album, it's just me being fucking raw and aggressive and fucking demonic and fucking evil, bro. I'm just literally, I took all my anger and I just put it out there, bro. And it's my favorite album that I've ever done. The least heard, you know, because I just dropped it and kind of disappeared. But Anger is like my best work to me, you know, because it's more like me on the MC hip hop shit, but just speaking that like truth of like, y'all fucking betrayed me, y'all, you know, and once I got that album out, it felt good. But after that album, I stopped giving advice. You know, there's every once in a while you have people like, I need some advice or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, what's up? Oh, we'll stay up, much love. But I stopped going in depth.
On a personal level.
On a personal level. I just, it's not that like I don't want to. It's just that my heart does now allow it.
But think about it though, I suppose it's like when you have social media that allowed you didn't have that access before where you had that, I'm gonna DM fucking I'm gonna DM fucking 2Mex or whatever. It's like you didn't have that. And you had that technology and you went, wow, I have an opinion, I'm wise, and my brand becomes a part of my brand. It's like you're not only wearing a shirt for my suppose, but man, he gave me some really good advice about certain things, you know?
Yeah, but
But I could see how it's gonna
But
start.
at that point, it started spiraling. So what I did was I was like, I dropped this anger shit talking album. I removed all my music from online. I put it back up. You get me? But I was on fucking tons of playlists. I was fucking everywhere. I removed all that shit.
Wow.
Took all my shit from Spotify, from fucking iTunes, Apple, everywhere. Fucking deleted all my music. You get me? And people started asking, why isn't this shit on? Why is this shit on? So I felt like, all right, let me gradually put it back on. You get me? That was a stupid fucking decision, but I just did it because I was so over it. I was so.
You know why I love you, man? Because this is the life of an irrational artist, which all artists are irrational.
Yeah.
All artists are irrational. We do I don't want to say that was dumb. It doesn't make sense in a fan's view. But even as a bystander going, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? But you're irrational. You're like, breaking windows.
That's exactly what it was, bro. So even with the clothing brand, I just stopped it. I stopped everything. People are like, yo, you got new music? Like, nah, I don't. You know, I don't. Like, I have no desire to do it because I'm not writing about the shit that I used to want to write. You get me? And since we're on a side note, when I started making that deep music, it was tough, bro. It was hard because I come from a hip hop history. I'm from the Rhymatics, you know. For those who know the Rhymatics, like we were one of the most rugged Mexican hip hop groups. Like we had that '90s essence.
Toured
in
Europe.
us. We toured Europe. Like
you're a raw hip hop.
2012.
Like you put him up with everyone.
We dropped the album that was hosted by Snoop Dogg.
XP.
XP Illward. Like we were doing shows with any big artist that came to LA. We were opening up for them, rocking shows, like getting a lot of love on the hip hop shit. We were recording songs with legendary hip hop artists. So we have this whole trajectory and this whole image, and these are the raw dudes. And then one day I'm just like, little girl got abused, you know, and people,
on your solo career, this is something different than Rhymatics.
And so then a lot of people were like, what the fuck's going on with this dude? You get me? And they didn't see it. And it was hard to, like, not that I try to explain myself, but it was hard for them to understand, you know, like, bro, just because you see someone spitting bars, it doesn't mean that's their purpose. You get me? I always felt like I was trying to, like, that's just hip hop's all I knew. But I always wanted to do a song where I opened up, where I got deep. Like, well, I mean, it's not like I made up these stories. You get me? This is shit, like, I have songs that talk about me, my emotions and shit like that. And that's who I am. That's who I always been.
I think that's what I have. I'm a fan of all hip hop, but when it becomes redundant and like, I don't want to throw dirt on anybody's artistry. Yeah. But just for example, for me, a group of redundancy is like J5.
Yeah.
You hear their album, and you can hear the next album. You can hear the next album. It's gonna be kind of the same, different skill.
Yeah.
You know, it's not redundant.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get to that you are not redundant. You are an artist. Yeah. An artist will go, oh, look at my beautiful painting. And then everybody goes, yeah, that's a dope, beautiful painting. And he'll pull it off the wall and fucking just break it. Yeah. And go, huh, what about that?
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
Oh, you like that painting now? That's what an artist is.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
why it becomes brilliant. That's why your conceptual vision on a song. I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you do. That's why we relate.
I'm not the biggest independent artist. I don't got the most followers. I don't got the most views, the most plays. I don't got the most money. I don't have any of that shit. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. My whole dream when I got into hip hop, when people were like, "You want to blow up? What do you know?" People always have those questions early on, like, "You want to become famous? What do you want?"
Yeah.
I said, "Bro, I just want to be respected, right? And I want to be respected." And honest to God, bro, to this day, like, there's not a hip hop show in LA, which is my home, you know, LA County. There's not a hip hop show in LA that I can't walk into through the relationships that I made. Yeah. You get me? So and so's throwing a show. I have relationships with everybody that I need to have relationships with.
Right.
Like underground hip hop blog is right here. You get me? Like stuff like that. Like,
not only that, but I used to see you at like Mexica New Year's.
Yeah, I was
like, that's not like the kind of hip hop you're describing doesn't go to Mexica New Year.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you go there and go,
Yeah.
oh, damn, this is fucking crazy. Well, it's soaking it in. Dude.
Yeah.
Just soaking it in.
Well, you do have that respect, bro. Like whenever we host shows or any type of function or event that we could think in, and best believe, I suppose, there's been situations where you've reached out and we just let you in, bro. VIP, all access, because you've earned that respect.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of your groundwork.
Yeah, and there's most other promoters and stuff like that. Like I have that relationship with them.
Wow.
Where they're like, bro, we've
Yeah, you
all
know you.
come up over the years together and stuff like that. I've done songs with a lot of big artists, whether
Right.
they're independent or whatever.
Conejo.
I'd never.
Did you do Conejo?
I'm on a song with him.
Yeah. I
suppose
know you told me. So
He's
about that.
performed
But-
at all of his LA shows.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
performed
yeah,
2019 with me?
So I've collabed with a lot of artists. I'd never had to pay anyone for a feature. I've
Nice.
never paid you get me? So everything that I've accomplished at my level has been out of respect. Out of like, yo, certain artists, they're popping. It's like, hey, I want to get you on this album. Oh, I got you, bro. Like, whenever, you get me? That respect. So that's why I feel like I'm successful in the sense where, like, bro, I'm not that it's wrong, you know, but you have an artist right here like, oh, I got this person on my song, you know, because I hit up their manager and paid them the money that they
Right.
charge. And that's cool. That's do your music stuff. You get me? But at the end of the day, for me to be able to reach out to whoever I want, to get respect from people, you know, people like, I'm gonna give you a quick one. Like, I was driving to a show I had in Merced, California. We're driving to Merced, right? Central California. I'm on Instagram. Vinny Pass from Jedi Mind Tricks follows
Nice.
me. He like
Vinny.
follows me right there. Like as I refresh my page, I'm like, what the fuck? That bro's one of my favorite, you know? So I message him. I was like, hey man, much love for the follow. Like, much love, big fan, you know? He said, all good, man. Just trying to follow up with the young cats that are doing their shit, you know, nowadays. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. You get me?
Damn.
That list of artists like that reached out to me, it's endless.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, literally, I have stories.
Well, I know
like that.
how I felt when like Karis One goes backstage onto Roxy and goes, dude, what the fuck? Or what, you know, when he's complimenting El Vuh. So Vinny Paz, bro, Jedi Mind Tricks, Heavenly Divine.
Yeah.
This is like
this
classic hip hop. And if you got somebody like that giving you classic props, you know, like the dude from the classic era going, I just want to follow up with these guys.
That's
legitimacy, bro. That's like legacy.
like the younger 17-year-old me is like, yo, I made it. This is all I need right now. All the other accolades and shit like that, those things don't mean shit. You get me? I could drop a music video right now and put it on a successful YouTube platform with 500,000 subscribers, and it's gonna grow more than if I did it myself. That's inevitable. We know that happens. You get me? But you can't buy respect. You can't randomly put yourself in a situation to try to get respect. Like, that shit's earned, and it takes a while. You get me?
Well, it's when you say I respect, I suppose, you respect that he's a graphic designer. He filmed his own thing. They know all this stuff.
Yeah. Or I mean, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Or they've met me and be like, yo, I just fuck with the dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what he does.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't really know.
But I mean, when
graphic
like
and shit
when
that.
but when you go into like the higher levels of like when you're talking about promoters who know you,
yeah.
respect in this industry is not just being a dope MC.
My biggest, like, one thing I always go back to, and, you know, if, like, for example, Crooked Eye, right? Crooked Eye, we got him on an album in 2008. 2008 is fucking 13 years ago. He did it for free on the Love. You know, it was just chilling with him, you know, because I booked him for a show, chilling right there. He's like, yeah, you're cool and shit. Like, saw his rap. Yo, let's collab on a song. And I was like, bro, we're nobody we have nothing, bro. Our video on YouTube didn't even have like 80 views, right? You know, we're in fucking nothing. But this was like, yo, you could spit. You're a cool dude. Whenever you want to get me on a song, just reach out. So I reached out to him. At the time, they had made Slaughterhouse, you know? So it's like Slaughterhouse, one of the biggest groups coming up.
Yeah. When it first came out, it was big.
Yeah. They're like, now they're doing the big festivals, you know? I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna hit this fool up and he's still gonna be like, hey, yeah, nobody, local artist. I'm gonna fucking take time out of my life to rap on your shit for free. But he did it. And I was just like, yo, like, there's real people out here, bro. There's no reason for a legendary West Coast MC like that to do that for me. You get me? Like, it's not even like we were like the closest and I kick it with him every day. He's a homie and my uncle knows him. Nothing, bro. Like, nothing.
Right.
And he did it. Fucking amazing, bro. So that kind of like that level of humbleness is like, keep that, bro. Like, keep that. So even to this day, there's a lot of like up and coming artists, like more up and coming, and I knew that are like, bro, how can I get you on a song? And I'm like, bro, let's make it happen. Like, because I remember when the legend I looked up to, you know, that I was like, yo, get on he told me like, yeah, let's get on a song.
Right.
And it's been like that with a lot of artists, you know?
It comes with, I guess what I was trying to point out was that all that, you know, leads up to that moment to get you there. Right? It's like climbing a mountain, right?
Yeah.
I gotta learn how to, no one knows how to make my graphic design like I do. I gotta learn how to do that.
Yeah.
No one's gonna make a video like mine.
Yeah.
I gotta do that. And so that's just one more level and height. And now you're in these rooms where people look at your career and go, I respect that.
Yeah. Well, when you run your own shit, like, you know, like Armando, like he's like, I want to do a podcast on talking about cats.
Right.
You don't have to reach out to no one. Like, would you be able to help me do my podcast? Talk about, he could just fucking set it up and talk about cats.
Right.
You get me? Like, when people have the ability, the tools in their hands to do what the fuck they want, no one could take it away from you.
Right.
That's why I always did my own shows, my own tours. I was like, bro, I could do a show in any city I want. Like, I don't have to reach out to promoters. I don't have to like negotiate a price. I don't have to like stay at the hotels I don't want to. I can do whatever the fuck I want, bro. If I want to go to New York, I could just go to New York and do a show.
Right.
5 people show up. Who cares? I'm in fucking downtown, you know, enjoying shit. And then you do it again the next week.
I know what you mean, because when in my career, I felt like, okay, the record label's not going to come, and we're not going to get that out of your head.
Yeah.
But you can leave marks. That's what I said. You can leave marks. So I'm going to do Ciudad Celestial, and I'm going to go to the temples. And we're going to fucking film it on the temples. And that sounds like what you're doing musically in your own way, with your art, with your brand. It took a long time to become, I suppose, from MC Graphics to I suppose,
to all the names in between.
All the names in between, to dark periods of your art where you get disillusioned because you invested so much.
Well,
you invest a lot in this.
Yeah. A lot, blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of money. A lot of losses. A lot of just trial and error. That's all it is. You get me? Like it's not easy. I see why a lot of people don't do it. It's not fucking easy at all, bro. It's almost one of those things where, at this point in time, it's too late for me, bro. I've never worked. How am I gonna get my first job right now? Like, you get me? I had to make it happen, bro. How am I gonna go like?
But that's cool though.
Who the fuck's gonna hire me my first job? You know, like, what's your job experience?
Who could say that? I wanted at 17 to be a rapper, and now I'm sustaining myself as a hip hop artist, and I have a successful clothing line. Like I said, when I met you, it wasn't. He had a camera. He had like this like VCR camera style.
Yeah.
And I was like, this kid's gonna be dope. he's and then
I still have I have footage of you guys that you know, you don't even know. Like, I have El Vuh footage dating back to 2003 for like the whole 10-year gap.
That you were there, and I just knew that you were gonna put it all together for yourself.
Well, look,
in your way.
Just real quick, because this is very important for this interview. In about 2006, because you were talking about how like I was at certain type of events like the Mexica New Year's and like soaking up,
right?
You know, in like 2006, I got very close like on a music level with like Olmeca.
Oh yeah,
you know, and like, you know, he was like inviting me to shows and I was filming stuff for him, like stuff like that, with you guys, and I got very like. wanting to learn more about my roots. You know, it's like let me like bro, there's indigenous cultures, like it's big and there's more to learn. I understand it. You get me? So I started writing music that was like that, more political stuff. Going, you know, I was at the protest marches. I was at the, you know, at the South Central Farm filming stuff. I was like, you know, I was going to Mortal Technique events and to the El Vuh events and the Aslan Underground events. And I was like documenting and I was learning more and I was like meeting different people, different artists. Started adding that political thing to our music. So in 2006, 7, Rhymatics, we were 6. You get me? We were 6 in 2006.
Wow, 6 of you guys.
Yeah, we were 6. And then by 2007, it was only 2 of us. Me and my boy Ilward. That's when we started getting a little political and we started opening up at all the shows, you know, like the doing El Vuh shows and those
Eastside Cafe days.
Farce of July, Farce of July shows and we're doing all like a lot of those events. Our thing was like, let's try to get on Divine Forces. Like we, you know, I soaked up because listening to your guys' music and like Olmeca's music and a lot of artists like that, you just soak it up, you know, like, yo, this is what I fuck with. So I'm gonna try to like educate myself and put some of that into our music. You get me? But with like a hip hop twist.
Right.
Now, after like about a year and a half of doing that, it kind of just felt like, like you have to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
So sometimes your role is just to get educated and learn about it and do what you can, but it's not to like try to be in the forefront and try to because maybe you don't have the enough fucking knowledge to like try to be in the forefront of something like this.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because I always like compare our intellect level in this world to other artists. We're like, yeah, bro, we're not there yet. You get me? So like,
it's like me trying to do a street song. Like I don't do street songs.
But not like there's one thing if you wake up like, oh, I want to do a street song because it feels right. But one thing's like, damn, everyone's doing street songs. Yeah. And I think if I could do a street song, like I'll be able to do more shows with those people that I fuck with. You get me? That's That's kind of what we were doing. Like I was telling my homie Ilward, like, bro, get more political in your stuff. He's like, bro, I don't give a shit about fucking politics.
Right.
I was like, who cares, bro? Like, look, let me teach you about this. And he's like, I guess, you get me? So then XP came back to the Rhymatics and we were just like, let's just do us, bro. Let's do which is battle rap, you know, street hip hop, like just straight 90s style hip hop shit. Cause it feels good, you know. But as okay, so real quick, let's just fast forward now to right now. I'm back.
Nice.
I'm back.
New music.
New music. So I recently made the decision to like, you know what?
We didn't even scratch the surface on your clothing line that's like blown up.
Bro, there's a million things that I haven't even you know that we skip like.
We still have time, but these guys, this brother has we haven't even his successful Truth clothing brand. I want to say it at least on the podcast. I mean, however much he wants to talk about it, that's up to him. But Truth clothing, go find it. I suppose I'm sure you'll find it.
Well,
inspiring quotes because you found a way to connect with your audience in the same way you used to do personally, but now you're just putting your quotes on a shirt, right?
Our customers are the fans. You get me?
Exactly.
So like basically the people that support me as an artist, it just leaked over to the clothing brand. So I'm not in the retail business. I'm not in the clothing brand business where I'm competing with other clothing brands. Like, I have to compete with the up and coming clothing brands because they're going to take the customers. And I don't worry about that because my customers are there. There's the people that fuck with me. And that number grows and grows, you know. And there is people that are like, oh, I like the designs and stuff like that. But the majority are people that are just leaking over. Right. You get me? Which is dope for me because it's kind of like the band merch concept, but we just took it into the clothing brand perspective. You get me? So right now it's going amazing, bro. We're innovating, we're growing. In February, we did something called Project 28, which for every single day in February, we dropped a brand new design.
Wow.
Every day of the month.
That's dope.
A brand new design. I had a minimum quota that I needed to sell. And so like, it was a project that cost like $30,000 in inventory, you know, because you're printing the minimum, like, whether it's 50, you know, well, if you print like the minimum of like, let's say 50 pieces per design for 28 days, I mean, if you have a calculator, it's thousands and thousands of dollars,
I imagine.
So we're like trying to just do the minimum we can, 28 days, new designs, multicolored designs, different styles, everything was available, sweaters, hoodies, like we had for 28 days, right? And we did, I'm not talking about something that we're gonna do, I'm talking about something that we just did, so I can speak on it from a perspective of it happened. It was an amazing experience. I've never worked so hard in my life. Like, it was a constant daily fucking grind. Every drop was presented to itself as an individual drop. So every day, let's say it was a design, right? That had a specific model, it had a photo shoot, it had a video commercial, it had a promo, it had a giveaway. Like, it wasn't just like every day I'm dropping design.
That's
check
so
the website.
much work.
Like, bro,
that's a lot of work.
Yes,
that's
bro.
a fucking lot of work.
And the craziest shit, bro. And like, so if you go to Truth Clothing page and you scroll to February 1st, and you could just swipe up from 1st to 28.
Wow.
You see everything, 28 designs, 28. It was actually 32 designs because on some days we drop multiple things. It's all different models. Everything has videos. Everything has like the proper marketing. It wasn't just like, yo, dropping new shit, you know, because anybody could do that shit.
Yeah, it wasn't like a picture of the shirt on your page.
Yeah,
there you go.
I've done a sale where we dropped 15 new designs, so it's like, no, but this was like everything was unique. You get me? And we sold out. It sounds
like your first gig at the hot dog place because it's on like your own network. Because like you said, you don't worry about people buying your shirts because people buy your shirt.
Yeah. We have a very loyal customers, bro. Like this year's been a big step up, bro. I don't like we get orders that are like $300, $400, $500 at least twice a week now.
Nice.
Like, it's weird, bro. Like, honestly, like, you know, I'm on there like, oh, thank you, much love, thanks for the support, but sometimes I cry, bro. I'm like, yo, how does this person spend $200, $300 on just some merch, and then next 2 weeks later do it again, and they just support? Like, it's beyond me, bro. It's
well, like I said, you learned how to translate your knowledge or your advice to a brand. Like it like I remember seeing a specific brand that you did that was your body type. Don't judge your body type. Like like wear this clothing. Wearing this. It's
called the what was it called, babe? Inner Beauty.
Inner Beauty, yeah.
Inner Beauty.
The
series.
Inner Beauty campaign. Yeah. I saw it as a campaign because it had certain colors. Yeah. It had certain quotes.
Yeah.
I didn't see the commercial for it, but I saw what you were doing.
I did a whole 15-minute documentary for it, where we got women that didn't felt insecure, and we got them to speak on camera to be like.
But what a brilliant way to rethink your dilemma that you got into.
Yeah, exactly.
You rethought it. You went, I could affect the community in the same way without having that, you know, responsibility for a life, right? Like, I'm just going to say it through my clothing, and I'm going to market it a certain way. And if you buy it, you buy it because you're feeling my vibe and you're doing what needs to be done.
Correct. Look.
Is that on your Instagram?
No, it's not. It's
Put it onto the camera like this so you can see it. Look at that. Or can you zoom in on that, Armando?
Go ahead and put it up against the mic.
Something about them that's special and then the next person can't have, because we're all different, and I think we should just appreciate it.
I've never been like skinny, thin person. I've always been like bigger, thicker, like, you know, big person. And, you know, being called fat.
So this is how we release a launch. You know, we do something that connects to the people. And it's just more powerful. Like, when you wear a T-shirt, you're not just wearing like, oh, cool design.
Right.
You know, it's like, yo, I'm wearing something that not only represents who I am as a person, but it was made with that intent. Like, when I'm designing something with the design team, and like, I'm not sitting there like, oh, let's make something that looks cool. We're like, dude, I'm putting like my train of thought behind this. It's like, we need something to make people feel love and appreciated, or at least to know that when they buy this, they're receiving it from a brand that truly accepts them for who they are.
Right.
You get me? Because you could buy a cool design, but it could be some fucking a brand, corporate.
Or let's
brand
just say Nike, for example. My kids love Nike, but they don't know why they like Nike. They don't go, oh yeah, Nike donated to my school, and that's why we have computers.
Yeah. The people at the offices at Nike are like, ha, these fucking dumb kids are buying up all our shit.
Exactly.
And we have the website up on the screen, guys.
Yeah. So look at Truth Clothing is. I wanted to get into it as far as we can because I saw it as an extension of your music.
Yeah.
The extension of your wanting to help the community.
Yeah.
By feeling good about themselves and where they come from.
Yeah.
I've always known that you were, when I met you, you had something to prove.
Yeah.
And believe me, bro, you've proved it 100 times over. If you're asking someone who met you when you were 17 years old.
And then with Truth Clothing too, the crazy thing is that we do everything's limited edition. So when we do drops, they usually sell out in a few days, and that design doesn't exist no more.
They're done.
Does it?
So it's collectors, almost to the point of. I could see it being in future like a Supreme, eventually, getting collected and traded.
Can you go to the website and swipe to the last item right there? So I want you to read the description on the item. So this is
I can't have my glasses, so you got to read it for me.
I feel weird reading it.
Do you want me to read it off the cover?
Mondo will read it.
Yeah. No, you can read the description.
Okay, so order this item individually, please. Do not combine your merch orders. Thanks. Upon purchasing, please DM me a portrait-style photo of you for the cartoon animation. No selfies, no filters. Just have someone take a photo of you sitting up straight, upper body, like you would for a school or ID photo. Refer to sample above to get an idea how your cartoon will work. Backstory. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of NFTs, which is basically a moment in time that is sold to someone in the form of art, like a digital photo or video that you own, but isn't a physical item. Very confusing, I know, but you can search NFTs on Instagram, for example. Anyways, one day I was scrolling through different NFTs and got an idea to do something similar, yet very different. Something unique, something special and super exclusive for a very small number of people, 24 and so. So in June, I will be releasing a brand new EP with a rare version that only 24 special fans will have access to. This EP will have brand new music, a special outro where I shout everyone out who purchased it. You guys will also be turned into a cartoon character and featured on the album artwork. Check the photos for a rough sample of what I have in mind. And on top of that, everyone will receive a limited edition hard copy of the album, which will be my most rarest item so far. You'll own a hard copy of the album with your name shouted out in the intro and your cartoon animation on the cover.
Brilliant.
This is such an amazing thing what you're doing, I suppose, bro.
That's
like
brilliant.
This is definitely thinking super outside the box, which you do think outside the box ever since I've met you.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's and that's exactly what I wanted to do. Like I was like, man, I haven't made music in a while, and I'm back to my storytelling, to my deep emotional, like.
These are the cartoons, right?
That's just a sample of how they would look, like very simple 2-dimensional cartoons.
Right.
So every person who purchased it, 24, right? I've only been promoting it on yesterday on Truth Clothing page, not on my personal page yet, because it's almost like there's a package that comes with exclusive merch, so it's almost like a Truth Clothing presents this project type of thing. So it's like a I Suppose Truth Clothing collab. And
which is another brilliant move.
Yeah, so it's gonna be.
I like this piece. I want this EP to be a moment in time. I've been dealing with a lot of mentally and emotionally. I've been dealing with a lot mentally and emotionally, and I plan to pour it all out on this new project. So this EP will be a reminder of some of the loyal fans who are by my side. That album cover will be in online forever, and those memories will always be there to cherish. And that's what I know about you, I suppose, and that's why I could relate with you so much in my music career, in your music career, in the entertainment business, that you create memories, bro.
Yeah.
And you can't take that away from anybody.
That I'm
You know what I'm saying, I suppose?
I'm blown.
I appreciate that.
Blown away at this project.
And like right there, that's a purchase. Right there, shout out to Sandra Hernandez. Another purchase. So like I wanted to do something exclusive for the fans.
I'm blown away. Bro.
That someone could be a part of. And besides those 24 people, like you can't be a part of that no more. Like it's something, and the people that purchase are also gonna have input on what we name the project. You understand? What we named the project. I'm gonna send them some I
think that's a brilliant
goodies.
If I describe this, it's the same kid I met at 17. The same kid that had to prove that he was smart, that he was talented. And now you're giving that opportunity to maybe some kid sitting down to go, hey, 20 years from now, hey, look, back in the day, look, I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yes.
That's me. I matter.
Yes. And
I'm important.
That's exactly what it is. I was like, yo, you're cartoon. And
I matter.
And the reason I did cartoon, so it all coincides together. You can't just have low quality photos of everybody on the cover, But I was like, a cartoon animation, it's going to be either like, me in the middle and people with me, like almost showing, and have
but
the title.
It takes effort.
Yeah, it takes effort. I hired the designer to do these animations and stuff like that. But
and they're going to have movement?
No. So
it's just gonna be like a cover,
like a digital cover.
But imagine like if
but then everyone who purchases it is gonna get their cartoon in a full color photocopy.
Oh, okay.
With a little like paper frame shipped to them, so they can hang up and be like, "That's my cartoon from the album cover."
Right.
You get me? And
you're gonna write brilliant music, so people are gonna want to hear it.
Yeah. So it's already done. I already have I just gotta get once we get the 24. People, and I'm doing it, promoting on the Truth page, but like lightly here and there. Like this interview is a good way to promote to my listeners and stuff like that. But I don't want to just go on the I Suppose page and be like, oh, I'm dropping this, because then it'll just sell quick, And I want people that really follow to be the ones to get it, and not just some random dude that's like, oh, because I had someone message me like, oh, can I buy one, and can I buy one for my cousin? Like, I'm trying to get her into your music, and I'm like, nah, like.
No, these are for diehards.
But it's not for someone who's barely trying to get into my music.
Yeah,
like, this is something also for me to be like, yo, these are the people that, because if it's just random people, it becomes dumb. It becomes like, who are these people? Oh, fucking some people that I don't even know what the fuck they are,
Right.
So yeah, man. But
we haven't even played one song of his, and his story, the road. I felt it was relevant to LA Natives because LA Natives is about people of indigenous descent, whether they know about it or not.
Yeah.
If they come from those communities where we eat tamales and we eat pozole and we eat all these things, those are ancient foods. So you're connected to it. Whether you know about it in detail is irrelevant. I want to showcase individuals who can inspire a young kid in a community to say, what, I can learn how to make a video? I could.
This video got removed 6 times. 6 times from YouTube.
Wow.
Because it was called Fuck the Presidente.
Right.
So they kept removing it. So I
this
had
is the one with El Máscaras, right?
Yeah, I had to upload it as something else, and it just wouldn't work.
Look at that. This is his music.
And I shot that video myself. One camera, like no crew.
Nice.
These are all fans, bro. Like, those are fans.
Yeah.
Yo, who wants to be in my video?
Nice.
They showed up, and it was like 112 degrees, Hanson Dam Park. And I told them, dress the part, That me rapping is a homie filming. He's never held the camera.
Wow.
Bro, hold it, make sure it's focused. Please, bro, and just hold it. So I'd watch it and it's all blurry. I'm like, bleep, bro, let's do it again.
What kind of camera is that?
I shot that with the Lumix GH5.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, Lumix GH5.
So, LA natives, just realize one thing, community. I'm gonna bring people who can help us regain our confidence in our own self. Because you just met a man, a young man, who looked at a system that's almost 1,000,000 to 1 to sustain yourself with. Like, it's 1,000,000 to 1 if you go, I'm going to be a rapper.
Yeah.
It's 1,000,000 to 1 that you're going to do it. And you met a gentleman that not only did that, who went through his dark moments, who went through a time where he felt, well, I have to destroy everything I have here because it's not going in the right direction. And how can I re-put it on the right direction? And I think you did that with Truth Clothing. This project of NFT fan forever imprinted. It's almost like having the Wu-Tang, you know, that Wu-Tang album that there's only one copy? You know, there's like that $1 million Wu-Tang, you know.
Yeah.
I saw it when you were describing it like that.
Yeah, no, and that's stuff like that are definitely inspirations, bro. Like when Nipsey Hussle dropped an album, he was like $1,000 a copy, stuff like that. Stuff like that was always like things that we've thought about. Not necessarily like that, like to do an album and drop, you know, but we've like my thing's always been exclusive stuff. And my shit was always exclusive stuff because that's all I could afford, bro. You get me? Like back in the days, like when I started printing merch, I could only afford to print 24 shirts. So I was like, limited edition.
Right.
Not because it's because I only got money to print 24, so these are limited edition.
Right.
And that I saw how people started appreciating that more, you know? It's like, yo, from now on, like everything's limited edition. So
but it's almost like you're doing the NFT thing in real time because with your clothing line being this is the only run we're doing of it.
Yeah.
It's so kind of the same thing.
When the NFT concept came about, I'm like, bro, I've been on this exclusive shit for, you know, like I used to do custom freestyles for $30. So the fans would pay $30 and I'd grab a beat that they choose from YouTube and I'd freestyle for like 3 minutes and then send them a mix and master
and then
version.
they go on their social media.
And then it has a name on it and I'm just fucking around.
Right.
And then some people were like, can you do a song on my story? So they'd pay, you know, a certain amount of money and I'd write a song on their life story. Right. And they'd have their own song just for them, you know? So I was doing that. Bro, I did like over 40 songs like that for people that only they have. That I listen to sometimes like, damn, I wish I could drop this, you know?
And not only that, but it sharpens your skills.
Yeah,
it makes you a doper MCs. It's almost like the rapper that like Supernatural. Oh, pull out your phone and pull out your keys. It's almost like, okay, I'm going to write about this guy. Let me look at his page real quick. All right, cool. He had Nikes and this and that. All right, I'm going to throw that in there.
And when some people don't realize is that when I do these storytelling songs, it's for me, it's easy. For me, it's like first nature, bro, to just like write a storytelling song. You get me? But I come from hip hop origins, bro. Like I could rap. Like I could rap fast. I could do metaphors, battle rap. I could do things that are like, yo, what do you say?
He's well
like,
seasoned. Yeah.
Like I could do that. You get me? So sometimes like I miss that, and that's why I just got back with my group, Rhymatics. We recorded a whole album.
Nice.
That's back on that hip hop stuff, and I really needed that, bro, because that reminded me like, even them to have Illward and XP like, damn, bro, you went off on this verse. Like, damn, you killed it. Like, damn, bro, I think you probably got the hardest verse on this song. Or like,
well,
damn, you.
At one point, it's not going to be about I have to prove that I'm good enough. At one point, you're going to be good.
But between swordsmen, like between homies like that,
homies,
like it was dope hearing that from them because for so many years it was like between homies like. They diss me, like, bro, we heard your soft ass song, bro, like when you gonna grow your balls back again, like do that raw shit because you're doing that corny shit, bro, like that fool Illward, I'll never forget this. Is like, did you just rhyme party with Bacardi on your song? Like those are like the most cliche words you could rhyme, like party Bacardi.
I get it.
And I was like, bro, like I'm trying to serve a bigger purpose, and they're like, nah, we just fucking with you, but you got to get back on the MC shit, So when we did this album. I was like, all right, bro, like, y'all say I'm soft. Like, let's put that beat and let's see who fucking, you know, let's see. So
it's good to be versatile.
I went in there with that hunger and, yo, I'm done with my verse. What's up? What's next?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm done. Yo, let's do
I'm
it.
actually looking forward to listening to some L Word and more.
Yeah.
But much respect, and I am so proud of XP. Because in the last few years, he's been on a massive momentum when it comes to his style, his delivery, and his just overall presence in the hip hop community. Man, like he's definitely stepped it up a notch.
He's already XP's already one of those artists that I don't see as a local artist anymore. You get me? Like, I don't see him as a local artist. I think he stepped up some levels. You know, his peers are different now. You know, the people he works with on the daily, it's a whole different echelon than just the normal like MC trying to get on. You know, so he's getting a lot of respect, a lot of love, and it's just a matter of time before his shit hits. You get me?
Right.
His shit hits, because that's the thing with that raw hip hop shit that like it. So many people downplay the commercial shit and the garbage, but then when people do give you that raw hip hop shit, a lot of people sleep on it. You get me?
I just want to go ahead and shout out everyone in our chat. Shout out to Elon. Shout out to Sarpana, Hector. Shout out to Brandon, Misery, Jose, Guru. We have Elon saying, I just watched this. I suppose this is the first I heard of you. And bro, mad respect. May the creator bless you with nothing but positive.
Much love. I appreciate appreciate that.
Shout out to Hector. Man, and talking about rhymatics, right?
Yeah.
Underground Hip Hop Blog quite possibly has one of the most rarest rhymatic interviews. I think we caught you guys slipping at the observatory.
That is the last rhymatic interview.
Oh, wow.
The last. And that was 2013.
Wow.
The last.
We would love to bring you guys back on, especially if the camp is back in full force.
Yeah, we have a new album coming out called Resurgence, R.A. Surgence. It's 100% done. It's being mixed and mastered as we speak. We got videos to it. We luckily over the last year, our relationship as a group, we've built. You know, we talk every day.
And I want to remind everyone, the gentleman that we have sitting right here, I suppose, he shot Doctrine of Discovery, right?
For Zero, yeah.
For Zero.
Yeah.
Wow. As soon as Zero gets back from the restroom, man, I want to talk a little bit about that, man, because to have a connection all these years, right?
Yeah.
And then from what Zero told me, the shoot didn't really take that long.
Bro,
but the way you put it together and you edited it, bro, it was like meant to be. Am I right?
We shot the video in one location, like literally one spot. I'm actually waiting for Zero to get back here so we could chop it up on that.
That's a good story right there.
Yeah, it's just it was off the head kind of, you know. It was just a real like random little cool video. Oh, there he goes. He's back.
Yeah, Zero, we were actually talking about the backstory behind Doctrine of Discovery, how, you know, I suppose basically directed that whole project.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a little backstory. As far as like the cinematography on it, I shot it with a single camera. The lighting was harsh right there, like the daylight, you know?
Yeah,
and usually when you have lighting like that, outdoor lighting like that, you need like different reflectors. You got to kind of set it. There's a setup for it, you know? And we didn't have any of that. And we just shot in that one location right there. And I think it's great.
That video?
I honestly think it's one of the dopest videos that Zero has on his catalog.
Yeah, that's
for me it was like a blink of an eye and that video was done. And I was like, when I saw the results, I was like, this guy's dope as fuck. This guy, you know, considering the equipment that was missing and all that stuff, to me it was like, man, he caught it. He caught the whole essence.
Film's always something I've been involved in. Especially now, like right now, film takes a big percentage of my time and shit, bro. I'm really into film.
Nice.
Like real.
And what are you
film.
doing? Videos or?
Yeah. So right now it's just shooting my own music videos and stuff like that. But I want to start doing like short films and documentaries, just getting into, you know. The thing with music videos is that, I have a lot of like knowledge on shit, you know, like lighting and certain equipment and stuff like that. A lot of these things cost money, like to have on budget, you know, and artists just don't have the budget for it.
Right.
So it's very hard to really showcase what you can do when you don't have the, you know,
equipment. Yeah.
The artist willing to you know.
Well, they expect you to have that equipment.
Yeah, no, but there's certain things like just renting something simple, you know, like I've had people want to shoot videos where they're like, oh, the video won't be like I got shot, you know. So I'm like, all right, bro, I have this hospital room you can rent,
right,
for $40 an hour, you know, get like 3 hours for $120.
Yeah.
Get the little $30 insurance, so like $150, bro, and you'll be in an actual hospital room, like.
And you get good shots, right?
And they're like, nah, well, I don't have $150 for that, you know.
Right.
So I was thinking we could just shoot in like my room and make it look like a hospital. So that's where you have that disconnect. Like, nah, bro, you know.
Yeah.
Someone wants to do a song in jail, like, all right, you could rent a jail cell for $100. Nah, how about we just like go behind the fence,
right?
You know, so that kind of stuff, bro. So like,
there was, for this video, there was powerful moments like when I handed the sage to the kid and he became an Aztec, and then when Jenny takes her piece of tape off, and there was a lot of comments from the mom and the kid, you know, dancing together. It was wow put together.
There's like little details that like, because when you have a video crew, there's little things that are like, there's someone that has to be there, make sure dude's not sweating in the shot, you know, make sure something's not there in the shot.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I liked it. It was exactly what I wanted for this song.
Yeah.
It wasn't I wasn't putting out an album. I just had an opinion that I wanted to express. You know, and it came out brilliant. And now, dude, I play that song live, and like the video gets more. It's like I haven't even played that song live except for Mexica New Year, and now it's like starting to take wind. It's like, whoa, where's that song from? I want you to, and so now I'm working on my next single, Global Pandemic, and dude, just thank you for the Doctrine of Discovery, because it really kicked me off. The Doctrine of Discovery, the 2019 performance I did with Conejo, Armando and I putting together LA natives to feature our community, our talented community. It's not an Indigena thing. I revolve around that. That's been my career for 25 years, right? I suppose I've never switched up from anything of what I did musically. I had a focus. I had a dream. I knew that putting a community together is diverse.
Well, that's why, like, even how you mentioned the Conejo show, like, it's dope seeing artists like you on there. You get me? Because then people, which I think you had probably one of the most epic sets, you know, that last show, that shit was electrifying, bro. That shit was sick as fuck. Like, even I was like, damn, bro, like, this fool really killed it.
And you performed after Zero, right?
No, I think I went right before.
Before, yeah. It was either before or after.
Yeah, we were in the same sync.
Right before. My shit was very unplanned, organized, because, like I said, I'm getting thrown into like a type of show that even though it seems like my first nature that I belong there, I don't, because my shit would be on some, you know. I was like, every time I do shows like that, like I've done shows like Snow the Product and shit like that, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna just do my shit. I'm gonna do Cry Girl Cry, my Suicide Letter, and then the day of, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm just gonna throw on some Spanish shit, rap, you know, do some shit that I haven't spit in like 3 years. Hopefully I remember.
Right.
Drink, you know.
Well, the one thing about you is that you're incredibly skilled MC. It's not like you don't have the way you were describing the beginning of your career, the high, the hat, these simple rhymes. There's some complexity, there's some skill, and so you can always, when you can rely on, oh, I'm just gonna show them how dope I am. You can, I'm gonna show them my weak side, because obviously you're not your vulnerable side, but that's more for your intimate audience, right? Like the audience that buys your shirts.
Well, which is the audience I cater to.
Right.
You get me?
You told me that one day.
And that's why I never really like doing shows, like just outside shows, because I'm like, it's not gonna cater to my people. It's not, you know. And it's cool. Obviously, like any opportunity to grow is dope. But sometimes you get so consumed with like, let me just do what's working.
I think he killed it at. You cannot.
But for you,
Yeah.
For you, well, that show was the first show that I rocked with Rhymatic, so I brought them on stage.
Right,
We did some
XP,
shit.
all that.
Yeah, first time I had seen them in fucking years.
Yeah, yeah.
But with you, what I was saying, I don't know if you agree, but it was dope seeing an artist that raps about the shit you rap about
Right.
on a lineup that was so diverse.
Yeah.
Because for years, up until that point, the like 100 times I've seen you on stage
It's when the
has always been in events with artists
they're similar.
that
yeah.
were similar, super identical to what you guys do.
Mm-hmm,
You know, all the like the very indigenous events.
Yeah.
So like, oh, we have indigenous event and you have to be indigenous or talk about similar concepts to be a part of it.
Right.
If not, you can't. You get me?
Right.
And it goes back to that time and that time where I told you that me and Ilward started getting more political because we wanted to be down with those events.
Right.
So we started, rocking shows with you guys because they're like, all right, cool. They have a couple songs that say "Pump Your Fist" and
Right.
fuck the system.
Right.
But it didn't feel right.
Right.
So the moment it didn't feel right, we couldn't really be down with those events because
Right.
now it just seems like we don't fit in, and I don't really think it should be like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, when you did that Conejo show, right? Did you see it as like, oh, I'm at a place, or did you see it like, bro,
Absolutely.
I could have been doing this shit the last 15 years.
When Conejo's show came up, I was like, I have to play this show. If I'm gonna play any show, I'm not gonna play the show that you just described.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the opposite about the way you feel about like, I'm not gonna just play that. I don't want to preach to the choir, is what they call it. I don't want to go get people who are already fired up about being indigenous. I want to go into a crowd where they know nothing about it, where they feel like, no, I'm this, and then somebody goes, no, you're this, and then they look at themselves and they go. I mean, I had so many compliments from people that were they were Conejo fans, and they're like, hey homie,
Yeah.
hey homie, hey homie.
But
And
a lot of artists that have the style of music you have never crossed that boundary.
No.
They've never been like, let me do a regular ass fucking like hip hop show where I don't think I'd probably be able to do it, but then I'd be surprised. You get what I'm saying? And I as a promoter, bro, like when I was booking all kinds of shows, I'd tell an artist, you want to do this show? They're like, oh, that's not my crowd. I was like, how do you know the fucking crowd, bro?
Right.
Like, what crowd am I as a hip hop fan? You get me? Because I like Visionaries and I like fucking Wu-Tang.
Right.
And I'll listen to Maná, and I like fucking corridos,
Right.
and I like some R&B, like I like,
Little Rob.
And Pink Floyd's my favorite fucking band ever. So like, what fucking category am I? You get me? So
Right.
like, you just never know, bro. And I think people are afraid to
Yeah.
That's the reason why I actually Underground Hip Hop Blog decided to put Zero on that bill, was because I know there's so many people out there at one point, like you said earlier in this interview, that one thing when you listen to dope indigenous hip hop, it kind of makes you aware of your identity.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So I
No.
felt like a crowd like Conejo's crowd, they're probably searching or seeking their identity as well. Right? And to put Zero on that stage and for them to hear his music, I just hope that people absorbed it, because like you said, I suppose like indigenous hip hop, especially the music that Zero makes, it's a little different than just your typical hip hop. There's a lot more substance in there. There's a lot more that you could take away from it.
Oh, it's a lot different. It's a lot. Like I've invited people to shows like that, and people like they don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You get me? They almost feel like
Ashamed.
like they almost misinterpret like being indigenous and knowing your roots to like super religious. You get what I'm saying? Almost like
Right.
like I don't want to learn about God and get preached to, and I'm like,
Right,
bro,
right.
we're not going to church. Like I don't think you guys really understand. You get me?
Right.
And because they're so far from their identity and from their roots and knowing anything about who they are, they fear. They say people fear what they don't understand. So they're like,
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't want someone telling me that, bro, I haven't been the proper Mexican. I haven't been Mexican enough.
Right.
Because I don't know, the origins of my great ancestors. You get me?
But where do you start, right, Zero, when you try to...
But people rather not start at all. You get what I'm saying?
I get.
music is the easiest channel to...
For me though, like I said, there's a reason why I have this type of topic, right? This ancestor topic, because I have a perspective. That perspective is develop my artistry. Just like I suppose took his entrepreneurialism, his street culture, his ability to be very skilled at. I took my in-depth ceremonies, my reading of this, my believing in it, my connection, my direct connection with it, and I put it into this music career, right? And it doesn't matter like what the outcome is.
Yeah.
Because I know if I get in front of a stage, I could be in Lollapalooza. I could be, let me tell you a quick story. I was at the Zócalo in Mexico City, 2012, November, Day of the Dead, 10,000 people there. And I had to open up the show. No one's ever heard of Zero. No one's ever heard of El Vuh in Mexico. And I was late. So my homies all, get off here, you gotta walk, the stage is over there, and go. And I'm going, and I'm walking, and I get to the stage, and I'm all, hi, my name's Zero. Zero El Vuh, okay, bye. Váyanse. And I go, and I get up on the stage, and I'm like, here's my CD. And the guy's all, CD? Get CD? What? You don't have a DJ? Where's your DJ? Where? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, no, fuck, I'm gonna miss the biggest show in my life. And the guy from the video guy, because they had screens, grabs my CD, puts it into the DVD player, and presses play. And the fucking audio goes on through the house system. So there it was. I had my music, but I was like, wait. No, not yet. So all my shit's all fucked up. I'm in front of 10,000 people. But guess what? Tlazocamatli, Tetzcatlipoca, en la noche yo salgo de tu boca mirando las estrellas tan hermosas, la galaxia mariposa que da vida a toda cosa. Comienzo a caminar dentro de un bosque como un jaguar, mirando cada clase de animal. Yo soy la lechuza, yo soy el serpiente, yo vengo de la gente que entiende la mente. En la memoria se escribieron las historias de la gente mexica, la gente antigua. Maíz y sangre, mexicas adelante.
I could already imagine that shit.
I did that.
Hell yeah.
That's what I mean. The Conejo Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put me in front of it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Yeah.
I know what's inside of me. You know what's inside of you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I know what's inside of you too, bro. And that's why I've been a fan, you know, since early on. Like, I was like, yo, this fool could rap. Like, his energy is fucking unmatched. Like, I never even know if, you know, because I wasn't educated in the shit you talk about.
Right.
I can't fact check you. I can't be like, no, he's not what he's speaking. I just know, like, yo, the way he says it, the energy you get when he's talking, it has to be real.
Right.
There's no way you're speaking
exactly
non-facts. You get me? Like, it just felt, so you at least have me in tune that much where I'm like, what he's saying, that's what happens when you put emotion in music. Like, it can be a lie.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
well, to this day, I haven't been able to compare his catalog to someone else's when it comes to like merit of production and the beats and the rhymes. And
no, I don't. Even in the style of music you guys have done as El Vuh, I can't think of another group that's identical to it.
Right.
You get me? That's very like,
well,
like you guys did it in a super unique way. Like,
well, it's because it was the same thing you did when you were coming up in the rap game, right? It's like, I'm going, okay, I want to do a group. I rhyme. I can make beats. I'm at the Achuchas. We have a cultural movement going. But I got to make a group that could stand out like Wu-Tang. I'm not going to make a group that's going to fit in. I got to make a group that's going to be timeless.
I'm laughing. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm laughing right now because me and my homies, like, nah, forget it. Nah, me and my homies have this thing where if we see someone like try to spit like that, like very like indigenous, we're like El Vuh ass fools. We say that shit. I swear to God, bro. Some El Vuh ass fools. Like, you know, you be like fucking.
Well, nowadays it took win.
And there's no justice when I stumble upon, I don't know, I don't want to insult people, but garbage indigenous hip hop.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't equivalate. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's another thing that was sensitive to me. I was always like, everyone who's speaking about something indigenous, I always put them on a pedestal. I always be like, even if they're not up to par lyrically, I can't disrespect them because they're speaking about something. You know what I mean?
Cause.
But yeah, they're speaking about the cause. I always felt like I'm probably fake if I were to be like, this fool sucks.
Right.
But then like MC recognize real. Like
Yeah.
I've seen people do it and it seems corny.
Yeah.
It seems like I don't believe you, bro. Like there's no conviction to it, you know? And like I said, you guys have always it's a matter of you guys being dope, you know? Sometimes it's like, well, they're the first ones I heard do it, so nothing else could like top it.
Right.
But nah, it's dope shit, you know? It's
I didn't really seek out to be the best. I wanted to be remembered like this, right? These stone figures, this altar is that huehueteo, it's remembered. That's your art, bro. You're gonna be remembered in Los Angeles in 20 years from now because you're not doing things to go work for someone else, to go get a label. You know how they trained us? They trained us to go get a label. Oh, you're the label. Oh man. I mean, I was at Green Thumb buying some cannabis, and these guys are talking about, oh, I'm on Atlantic and Sony, and like, if that's a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's never a good thing when you work for someone and you have deadlines and you can't be creative like I suppose can go, I'm gonna create this clothing line, I'm gonna make this album that's gonna include my family. Like, there's so much thought. It's kind of like you're in this ultra indie artist, but you're an MC that's using the techniques.
And real quick, everything we just spoke about, I'm gonna redo it again, you know, because after my little, like I said, I took time off from the music. Not time off, like I'm on a break. It's just, bro, I just fuck this shit, you know, like I'm over it type of shit. I was always rapping, you know, I always rap and I always make music. I always, but I just didn't want to drop shit. I just didn't feel like dealing with it. But I have an album coming out called Muerto de Hambre. It's all Spanish.
Nice.
I got the EP that you guys saw right there.
Sweet.
The exclusive one. I have an album called Pain. I have an album called Truth Part 2, because I have one called Truth Part 1. And you know how they say smile now, cry later?
Yeah.
I have an album called Cry Now, Smile Later.
Wow.
Which is like, it's okay to be, it's okay to have
deal
pain,
with your
it's
issues.
okay to cry.
Deal with your issues.
So I have 7 albums right now that I'm have done, that are all getting mastered, mixed, 100% completed. What I did with Project 28, we're dropping the merch every single day. I plan to do that with music videos.
Wow.
I want to do a whole month where I drop a new music video for 30 days.
Wow.
But right now I'm
elevating the game.
Yeah.
Armando.
Like I'm just gonna
insane.
I'm gonna do shit like, you know, they might not all get the response I want, but as a package, it's gonna be like, yo, this fool really dropped a legit music video, not some corny shit where I'm just rapping in front of a wall with graffiti. Like, talking about like videos with quality that are directed properly, like badass videos, you know.
Like you remind me so much of like the early 90s CEOs like Irv Gotti, and like not that you do that. I'm just saying the investment, like, no, more like Damon Dash, right? Like, takes money, takes, you know, let's do it. I'm not afraid. Let's drop it. Okay, we put 30 videos out. Only 2 got 1 million, whatever. Let's go to the next project because I have this idea.
Yeah.
It's like, that's exhausting.
I think, yeah. But I'm excited. I'm dropping a music video this week. I have one called Free the Children.
Children in cages, right?
Children in cages. I've had that video for like a year. I just never released it.
Wow.
And you know, a lot of things are resurfacing, and I just feel like it's the timing. I have another one that talks about you know, the whole paletero issue.
Right.
So I have a video that might be controversial to some. It shows like essence of a black and brown racial war in the streets. I'll show it to you guys after this. I have it right here on unlisted on my YouTube. Yeah, bro. I have like 40 videos right now that are 100% done that I could just drop whenever I want. So I'm gonna start slow. I'm gonna start with one every like 2 weeks, which are the ones I'm dropping now. My homie Hefty Loke, who just passed recently, I have a song for him. I'm dropping the video for that as well.
Wow.
I have a song called La Hija del Diablo. That talks about this girl that commits suicide because she was, again, abused by her father. I actually had my family in Sacramento come out in the video. My grandma's in the video, my uncles. my tia, my cousins. I have a bunch of shit, bro. I'm not one to be here like I got this coming out, but
I just recommend everyone on LA Natives, anyone who's an I Suppose fan. I'm an I Suppose fan. I followed his career since I've known him. He's not an individual that's gonna brag about what he does. He's an individual that just gets things done and promotes it properly, and the music speaks for itself. There's the music, the brand, everything. Your results aren't fake. It's not like
no, and you know what? It's with the style of music I make, it's harder to grow because it's not for everybody. My music's not one you could like show 10 of your homies like, hey, bro, bump this shit. Oh, who is this fool? Let me follow him. It's almost like, bro, I don't want to hear this shit. What the fuck? Like, fucking trigger warning.
Yeah, but the little girl in the back. Oh shit!
But it's a way slower process.
Yeah.
So it's harder. You get me? My road's a little harder, but little by little we take little steps. Sometimes you got to take a couple steps back in order to move forward, but we're getting there. And I'll tell you this much. Hopefully I could come back on here.
Absolutely. Anytime.
In a few months.
Anytime.
In a few months, just so I could be like, told y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And next time I come on here, I'm gonna be leveled up 100%. I'm gonna be like, yo, I just got back from tour. I just dropped fucking 50 videos. So it's gonna be the level up.
I personally want to say that I am proud of you, bro. I've never met anybody at 17 when I met you that you accomplished, and not that everything you did became gold.
Yeah.
But your story is just as real as an oldie group from the 50s that grinded their ass up to Angel Baby and that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm not saying that that's you. I'm saying you are, I can't describe them any more better than that individual who soaks up everything in the room. I feel your energy right now. You're soaking up everything in the room.
Well, look,
it's like dope.
This is something, and this is what allows me to wake up and be inspired. When I feel like what I've accomplished or what I've done to get to where I am, honest to everything, I feel like I'm at 5%.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Like, as far as like the stuff I'm gonna do, the stuff that I'm working on, like what I see myself doing. Like people are like, damn, bro, you had a great run. You think you're like, you already did all you can. I'm like, fuck no, bro. I did what I was able to. Like I was a kid for most of the time. I was
funded
broke.
it yourself.
It was hard to invest things. It was hard to do shit. Like I used to set up shows, bro, with legendary artists. Like I'd book fucking a group like Onyx and like certain artists, and I didn't even have a ride to fucking get to my own show. You get me? And I was throwing it. Like so, I went through a lot of crazy, weird fucking struggle. You get me? Like no car, but I'm fucking spending $15,000 on trying to throw the show. You know, and like I did the shit in a weird way. It was all for like the love of hip hop. You know, so like now I'm getting more in a comfortable space, and now I really feel like I'm about to start all over, like continue my journey, but almost like I'm starting over and going hard as fuck. Like like some people feel burnt out. You get me? Like, oh, I already did it. Like, kind of like, you know, they have a little essence of like giving up. Like, yeah, you know, it was cool while it lasted, but I feel like, yo, I'm just getting started, bro. Right. Like the shit I'm discovering with film, like the shit that I could start doing, the shit I'm discovering with the clothing brand, with my music, production, like, it's just starting, bro. So
for me, it's like it's almost like you have a 360 record deal, but you do it all yourself, right? And the deal is with yourself, right? The deal is like, I want to leave a mark in music. I have good songs and I have good products.
Yeah.
But just because you have that idea in your head, just because you have Pro Tools in your house, doesn't mean it becomes that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of learning. And I on my IG page, I put a post and it's half Buddha and half an angry face, right? And I put on that post that the only reason you could be both is because you had to live through the pain to center yourself and not let it bother you anymore. Like, you don't need to prove to anybody I know you learned that lesson a long time ago.
Of course, yeah.
But I want you to know that I'm super proud of you, just knowing you. I know that you're not even halfway done to what your potential is, because when you could put together a project that you just described with your fans being a part of forever, cemented with great lyrics, that's like me going, like Led Zeppelin going, hey, who wants to be on this cover for Stairway to Heaven? Like, I'm going to give you a shot to be in that painting.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, fuck it, I'll throw down some money to do that. And then boom, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, and look, I'm right there. That's so brilliant. So on another level, full spectrum artistry. That's what I search for.
And that's kind of what I show people. Like, you don't have to, it's like some people think you have to be super big and popular to do certain things. You get me? It's like, nah, like, if your audience is 100 people, do something that's unique to those 100 people, bro. Like, you can be legendary within your range. You don't have to be the biggest artist ever to do legendary shit. A lot of the and I know Armando could agree with me, but a lot of the legendary artists we grew up listening to and admiring when we were young hip hop fans, like a lot of those dudes they're really like, once, you know, when you're a kid, you think everyone's a superstar. But when you're older, especially when you get into the promotion business and you know a lot of these artists and you see them around, you know a lot of these artists ain't really doing shit. Like, you know, a lot of them are not making money in shows. They're not rich. They have nothing. They're almost struggling worse than any up and coming artist right now. You know, there's like regular, ordinary people, but we still, that doesn't take away from their legacy. That's fine, bro. But I see them and I think of my childhood. I think of like,
the nostalgia.
I think of all that shit.
And sometimes these artists, you know, we can't afford putting them in a hotel, so they stay with us at our houses.
Yeah.
Am I right? I suppose.
Yeah. There's a lot, bro. There's a lot of shit like that. You know, I've put a lot of artists in cheap ass motels and like, you know, or like, fuck, bro. I had like Percy P a long time ago, right?
Wow,
Percy P. He was my nephew Anthro's favorite rapper, right? And this is probably like 9-10 years ago, because my nephew turned 15. Anthro's like 24, 25 now, so it was like 9-10 years ago. And I got Percy P to go perform at my family's house, and he was in the backyard at our family party performing, bro. We had all these like Mexican people that don't speak English in the party, you know, like a Mexican party.
Filmed that.
No, we do have it on video. I got pictures, video, and he's performing for my nephew as a surprise.
What?
And then Percy P's in the kitchen, bro, eating my mom's pozole.
What?
Like chilling right there. He's right there, and we're chilling. And I have pictures of it. I have video. I have
That's
everything.
underground history right there, bro.
And he's taking pictures with all the family, like all the invites.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, ¿quién es ese? Un rapero? Like, and they're asking him for pictures, so he's posing with all these like señoras and shit. Bro, the craziest shit, but that's what it was, you know? I remember like I picked him up, I was like, fucking did the party and then drove him back. Like just shit, the crazy hip hop shit like that you can't recreate.
Well, because people have an illusion that these artists are super famous or super rich or have or even have their life under control.
Yeah, you know, I get a lot of haters sometimes. They're like, bro, how come you're not like, you don't have as many followers as this person or this person? Oh, this guy's doing it bigger, you know? Because I was like, bro, we live in an era where like you either take the long way, like you work for years and years and years to get somewhere, or there's you know, and I'm not hating on them. There's a lot of youngsters that drop their first song and it goes viral and they have fucking 200,000 followers, and you know they'll post a picture and all the girls say, oh, he's so handsome and cute. Like, I went through that shit too, you know? I went through an era where every time I post a picture, you'd have like 500 girls commenting like, oh, this and that, and oh, he's so handsome. And, you know, like you go through that shit. It's cool in the moment, but it doesn't do anything for your legacy. Right. You get what I'm saying? And there's a lot of artists like that. And I think that's the misconception right now, that an artist could like drop a music video, put it on a successful platform. It'll get 100,000 views, and the artist thinks he's successful. Like, yeah, I got more views than you, bro, so I'm more popular.
And they've never performed that one show.
They've never done a show. They can't draw a person to a meet and greet. They can't do anything. They make no money from music. They've never made money from music.
Right.
But they somehow in their head they think they're most successful.
Right.
Like I made it.
Right.
I mean, it's like, bro, that platform helped you get there, and now you're thinking, you get me?
Yeah, like it. Well, it goes back to the falsehood of social media, right? Everybody's trying to make their life bigger than it truly is, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go to Cancun and go on this spot because it's like,
bro, when I was doing shows, right? My tours were like under the radar. It was like, it was a independent scene. It wasn't like it wasn't your underground hip hop scene. It was almost like more under the radar than that. It was like a more like independent scene of a certain style of artist. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it catered to their pain. It catered to whatever.
But like, you had artists like, your Reveries and your Gavlins and your Self Provokes, and like it was like this new wave of artists. Somehow I got tied into that, and I'm from a different era, so I felt like rejuvenated. Like, oh hell yeah! Like people were adding me to playlists with the young cats. Like hell yeah, you get me? And so I'd tour, and when I'd go to a venue, like a small little venue, in Salt Lake City, Utah, I'd go to the bathroom and I'd see like Self-Provoked stickers or like Reverie. You get what I'm saying? I'd go to Washington. You go to the local, like, to do a meet and greet at a local record shop, and you'd see like, the Gavlin stickers, and you'd see like they'd been here. So it was always the same fucking people at all these spots. And that made me happy. Like, yo, bro, as far as LA, like the up and coming, like the new wave of like independent artists, like people are fucking grinding. You get what I'm saying? And for a lot of years, that was like our measuring gauge. Like I almost felt like there's all these artists that say they're doing shit, that they're popping, but we don't ever see their names in the bathrooms at these spots. You get me? Like you don't ever see them. It's a small world. And even to this day that I was like, I'm gonna stop doing shows, stop touring, stop dropping music. Let me watch. Like kind of let me watch who's doing shit. Let me see if there's a new wave of youngsters that are like, yo, we're doing a show here. Like we're selling tickets to our show, and no one did shit before the pandemic.
And we all saw that wave, right, Zero?
It when you talk about like Gavlin, Reverie, Fora, all these individuals that hit certain plateaus in their career, it's because the technology crossed their paths. Like when I put out Ciudad Celestial, it was like, how do you upload it to YouTube? And it's like,
Yeah, no. But okay, so I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah, the technology crossed their path. But I knew these people, I worked with all these people personally, but these people all had a fucking ambition in them.
Yeah, they worked hard.
Bro, it's not easy. Like to try to set up your own little tour and little like clothing shops or record shops all throughout the country, it's hard as fuck, bro. Yeah. So like they were doing it at a young age, right. Like these people inspired me because I was like, damn, they're fucking way younger than like, and it reminded me of a younger me. Yeah. But now they just have a social media platform.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. The technology is crossing paths. Like you had to do it without it.
But it was that wave of those artists that I always shouted. I was always like, oh, my favorite up and coming artist right now is like Reverie and because I always saw that it was hard to go out on the road and they were always doing it. You get me? And I was like, right now I just kind of been waiting like, what's the new? Everyone's popping supposedly right now, like a new generation of kids, but no one's stepping out of the YouTube world. You get me? Like everyone's content with, oh, my video got 100,000 views, I'm popping. Like, well, let me see. Go do some shows out there.
Right. And who do you draw?
To really see if you're popping.
Yeah,
you get me? Because all these artists that I named that are, obviously grew the fuck up, and doing bigger things, they all went through that shit. And like I saw them, like, bro, I saw even artists like King Little G, like, I was with them at shows and there was 35 people in the crowd. 30, you get me? And that went to 2,000 people in the crowd. But I saw those early shows.
Right.
You get me? I have pictures of being with him at those shows. There's literally one specifically that stands out is the green iguana, I think, in Whittier.
The green turtle.
The green turtle. The green iguana, green turtle. 35 people in the crowd, bro.
Right.
Like, just to show, you get me?
I have a crazy story about, I suppose. He comes to us, so he answers the Craigslist. Sorry to cut you off, but this is a funny one where he's like, oh yeah, I have this artist and you know, we can use your lounge. All right, cool, whatever. And then I come, and there's a fucking line literally around the block. It looked like I was at the Palladium.
Yeah,
this is a promoted show by this man right here.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
looked.
yeah.
I was like, I thought the cops were gonna come. I mean, it looked like
Yeah,
who
he
the
was
fuck
all
is
scared. He was all scared.
who the fuck is here?
I was like, I know you said capacity was like 80. We have like 500 people in line. Like, is that cool?
Is that cool? And the line went all the way around.
But you,
it happened.
I mean, I know it's like emergency reason, like, you know, like emergency hazard reasons. But 500 people fit in that spot, bro. That you had.
I guess so.
Like, people fit, bro.
I guess so.
You know, like
those were legendary shows. Those were intimate shows.
Well,
those were fun shows.
Those were the early stages for a lot of like I said, we started going from town to town.
Yeah.
The small towns that no one's ever heard of. That was our concept. You know, they're like, bro,
Booking backyards.
Yeah, bro. We
and packing them out.
You know what I liked about
concepts and strategies that artists today will never grasp.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people used to laugh at us, bro. Like, oh, bro, you think you're popping? Like, you're doing shows in backyards now. Like, you went from venues to backyards. I was like, yeah, bro. When we were doing the venues, I was just rocking and shit, doing someone a favor. Now we're doing the backyards, but we're making fucking $5,000 a backyard. You get me?
Damn.
And we're doing it every single day, and we're doing 70 shows in fucking 4 months. We're doing like literally. I'd post on Facebook like, "Who has a backyard? You know, we'll give you merch, and we'll pay them in like T-shirts and shit. And we'll do backyard. We'll take our sound system, and 200, 300, 400 kids will show up to a backyard. Do it again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend for years.
Yeah.
And from backyards, we went to smaller little venues.
Yeah.
And then it just started growing. But that concept was always dope.
You know what I liked about it is that when I would look at a flyer on your page, it would be like, we're touring. And it was like San Fernando Valley to
Sylmar,
Orange.
San
Yeah,
Fernando.
it's Sylmar,
It
San
was all
Fernando,
like,
Orange County, Los Angeles, Whittier. And it was like, it was all still in the county. But it was a tour.
One of the first times I ever seen a girl like literally pass out over like oxygen or anxiety was at an I Suppose show. He had organized a show, and the place was so cramped that these girls, I guess, had nowhere to go, and I guess they just got mad nervous or just the anxiety sprung, and I literally saw a girl pass out. And we all looked at each other. We were like, "What do we need to do?" And I don't know what. As far as I remember, I suppose in your team, you guys just grabbed her and just threw her outside.
Just took her outside, gave her some water and shit. But bro, it was a whole wave of like. It's a wave that I know is not there no more. It was like this whole 2012, 13, 14, 15. It was like, it was a dope time. But check it out. People used to always tell me like, bro, like, you're doing your shows. You get me? Like, back to the exclusive shit. This is how I used to do shows, bro. I used to do shows where in a small town, right? Like Merced or Stockton or like weird towns, right? Watsonville. And my whole thing was like, I'm only going to make 50 tickets available.
Okay.
Each ticket is a VIP ticket. Access, meet and greet, blah, blah, blah. You get me? And each ticket comes with up to 4 free tickets. So it's $50, right? And it comes with 4 additional general admission tickets. So I was like,
but there's only 50 available. They come with 4.
So I was like, my goal was to sell 50 tickets. Right, for myself.
Right.
For $50. So you sell 50 at 50, it was 2,500, right?
Yeah.
So, and I had to do a show at a spot smaller than this. So like half of this.
Wow.
Like a little small, like, bro, a little, you get me?
Yeah.
I still want to be like, yo, I have this little like backspace to my business. You could do a show there, and we just like, as long as you got a power outlet, you get me? So I'd take my sound.
As long as you have
I'd take my sound. We had a makeshift stage, and I'd sell these 50 tickets for $50, and I make $2,500, right? So like Armando knows, like booking artists, like for an artist to make $2,500 off ticket sales, like you got to get a lot of people.
Yeah, never.
Either $10 a show, and that's if the artist throws a show, not if there's a promoter involved. You get me? Because promoter, the money promoter's making, whatever. Like it's not easy. You get me? But I knew like I'm gonna make $2,500. All I have to do is sell 50 tickets. It's not a whole lot. You get me? And each person has an extra 4 tickets to give to their friends or whatever. Right? So what would happen is I'd sell the 50 tickets. I'd make my $2,500 to rock in a little ass fucking spot.
Right,
You get me?
right.
I didn't have to pay venues and big, no crazy shit like that. And then they'd be like 150 people there, or 200, because everyone brought their 4 free. You know, like it's easy. Like I got a ticket, I got 4 tickets.
Right.
So they'd give it to people. So it had more people, and then we had the merch. So that as long as I made another $500 minimum off merch, I was like, I just made $3,000 on a Friday, $3,000 on a Saturday, $3,000 on a Sunday. I just made $9,000 rocking in a fucking clothing shop.
Wow.
You get me? So I was making more money doing some shit for a little bit amount of fans than rappers were doing selling out bigger venues. Like, I'm selling out a big venue, I'm getting the flight, I'm getting booked the hotel. You get me? I was just doing it on some like just quick shit.
Yeah, but instead of getting the illusion sold to you, you took that illusion and said, well, I'd rather have $11,000.
Well, so my whole thing was like, I know I'm not big enough to. I didn't sell 50 tickets because I was like, oh, I want to make it exclusive and I don't want to sell out 300. No, because that's probably all I could sell. Like I knew I had to bust my ass to hopefully sell out 50. You get sometimes I was a little bit less. Sometimes people wanted more, and I'm not gonna like not sell more. You get me? But I was aiming for like
beautiful.
50. Yeah, I was aiming for 50, and you know, so sometimes I'd post pictures and people would be like, bro, there's only like 40 fucking people in the crowd. That shit was a flop. You know, they see pictures. I'm like, I mean.
Yeah, but
I made fucking $2,000. I made $2,500
exactly
this night.
I mean, even
like,
if he sold 30, even if he sold 30,
like, so I always had a way to add value with the audience that I had. You get me? Because I knew I wasn't gonna go to fucking Dallas and sell 300.
You weren't an artist that was like, you know, we both know artists that are so consumed on trying to perform in front of new eyeballs, people that don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
Which kind of backfires sometimes because like your strategy was focusing on the people you already had and expanding it from there.
Yeah. So my whole thing is like the music's gonna attract the fans.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the music, and then the reward is the intimate show.
Yeah.
You get me? Like with Rhymatics, bro, for 10, 12 years, we did shows opening up for artists and rocking other crowds. And you get props, you get me? Like, oh man, you fucking killed it, you're the shit. But I don't remember ever seeing those people again buying merch or following along. So I'm like, what is that really doing for me?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I just like it was a good adrenaline rush. It was a good moment. People buying me drinks at the end of performance. But I'm like, bro, I never saw these people ever again.
Right.
So I was like, why put energy on that? Let me focus on the die-hard ones. Yeah, it's only 50 people in Bakersfield.
Right.
But me and those 50 people, we're going to make a show crack. I'm going to make the money that I need to sustain myself and keep doing it.
Right.
And it's, you know, I have my own sound system, my own stage. I'm not, you know, sometimes I'd rent some sound systems if we were like really far away and couldn't take it. But I was able to, that's where the marketing comes. I was able to like still make the money I wanted to make with the small, you know, with small support system. And that's what I do now.
Yeah.
You get me? I still do that with the limited drops, with the,
right.
You know, I'm not trying to drop a new design and be like, I'm gonna print 3,000 t-shirts and try to sell them all. You get me? I'm like, limited drops here and there. You know?
But what I see, even though like the way you describe the intimate shows of 40 people plus, right? Sometimes, and creating that intimate connection, like it seems like it went from 40 people. Now there's 80 solid. Now there's 100 solid. Because you don't get to the back of the fucking mail fucking thing, and you're only shipping 10 boxes.
No.
It's
so
like
I'm gonna give you an example. Like I've had sales where in a weekend we're shipping out 2,000 pieces.
There you go. See, 2,000
like
pieces
on a few day sale. You know, we've done some crazy fucking numbers. You know, the clothing brand right now, like it's doing good, bro. Like
that's
new
good.
Orders come in, and
but what I'm trying to point out is that you went from a kid at high school putting on independent shows, taking that money and risking it on club shows, getting acts, learning from all that, and going, holy fuck, I could do a show for 40 people who buy my shirts, buy my tickets, listen to my music, and make fucking triple the money. And who gives a shit about the drink at the end? And who gives a shit that you played with so-and-so?
And most importantly, avoiding all that garbage distractions of other people you know,
taking advantage of you.
Yeah, trying to like impress others that don't make you money.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And for my own shows, bro, like there's never other artists there. You know, there wasn't no other artists. Like we're gonna go to I Suppose. It was just me, bro. Like a lot of the shows, bro. I've had sold out shows, bro, in other states, right? For example, like Salt Lake City, Utah, 400 tickets sold, right? For my show.
Wow.
And I show up there by myself, bro.
Damn.
Like I fly out there by myself. Now I don't got a entourage. I don't got the homies with me.
That's
I'm literally
cool.
by myself because no one's down to go.
Yeah, because you wrote a soft song, remember?
And it's like a sold out show. You get me? And that I'm organizing in. They're like, yo, we have, you know, rent the venue. They're like, we already have sound system here. I just literally show up with my USB, some merch, and then sold out show.
Wow.
Leave with like fucking $6,000-$7,000.
That's the dream.
And then come back home and it's like, yo, like nothing happened. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a big thing. You get me? And yeah. So my advice, bro, to any independent artist is build relationships to focus on a buzz, and don't get discouraged, bro. Like if you're from LA and you have 15 people in Bakersfield that really fuck with you, find a little restaurant or coffee shop and go use those 15 people to help you get to the next level.
Wow.
You know, do a show for those 15 and be like, yo, I'm gonna give each one of you 10 free tickets, give them out to someone, and hopefully those 15 bring their homies. And now, like, yeah, it was from 15, now you have 115 people there having a good time, and they become fans and it grows. You get me? So I always did that a lot, bro. I had shows where I've had shows. I did a show in Reseda where I sold 160 tickets, right? 160 tickets. But I gave away 700 tickets.
Damn. And there was 800 people there.
We had like 600 people there.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I sold only a percentage.
It's like
but they all got free tickets.
messing with statistics, you know? It's like
yeah, it's like, bro, like because like if I go to a new state, right? Like let's say Dallas, and I only have connect. I used to do this thing where I used to be like, come in your city, right? Dallas, come in your city, like in January, and all those people that were coming, I have that post just for Dallas. So when I'd go to Dallas, I'd be messaging those people.
Wow.
For a month beforehand. Yo, what's up? How's your day? Yo, everything cool? Yeah, I'm gonna go to Dallas next month. Just start spreading the word. Help me find a venue.
Bring your friends.
Yeah, I'm building that relationship. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to Dallas for a venue that fits 50 people. I sold 30 tickets at $50, right? Let's fill up the other empty space. Let's give out some tickets to the people who support it. And then they're able to be like, hey, I'm going to the show. Like, I got 2 free tickets. Bring your little sister and they'll just come, and it makes it better for the crowd.
right.
Like a better show, and then the diehards are there, and you made the money to go and come back and some profit, and you're good, bro.
I think that's.
But I can only do that when I throw my own shows.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get booked by like a underground hip hop blog. Be like, hey, G, I need 600 tickets I could give out for free. You know, like,
Right.
Like so that's why doing my own shows, I was able to do that. I was able to, like, bro, I could just.
But you're growing an audience. And,
I did a tour one year. It was just a free tour. Like every show was free.
right.
Like every show was free, and but having a show and giving free tickets, you appreciate the fans. You get me, and people like free shit.
Wow. I want to thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah, man.
Man.
This is another episode, Zero, where our guest has so much to say.
They take things away. They take things away that are practical to their life. Maybe in this episode it wasn't deep philosophy, but it was a way to never give up. Our community is resilient, and I suppose is a perfect example of not compromising and letting other individuals, other magazines, other publications define what a true artist is. A true artist will build a career, destroy it, make it again just because he can.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also dropping a monthly. I'm not gonna call it a magazine, but it's almost like a pamphlet. You know, it's gonna be like a 20-page full.
I'm waiting for the restaurant, but you let me know when that happens, bro. Because I mean, I suppose tamales are coming.
Nah,
I mean, No, I'm not. I'm complimenting on.
I just have a lot of things that I'm working on that I'm gonna do. You know, like
you are an amazing individual, and I would not be surprised if you came up with a culinary version of what you do, because your talent is not being a hip hop artist.
Limited edition tacos and shit.
There you go. You see,
you can only buy 2 tacos.
There's only one truck that we're gonna bring in here, and then only certain people could. And
I'm waiting for the.
Your face will be on the truck.
I'm waiting for the, I suppose, grinder and the weed tray.
Yeah,
that's the one thing, the whole weed world that I haven't got in or tapped in because I don't.
Well, you don't need to. You have your own version. You know what you're doing to sustain your reality, and that is Mexica culture. Mexica culture is a combination of your talent and given to the community that you love. You can't say that you didn't write those songs that were very deep topics because you didn't love your community. You looked around and you said, I have to say something about people that think it's cool to ditch and drink and take advantage of a female. I have to talk about an incest that comes back 500 years ago. I didn't know that. You probably didn't know that, but now you do. I that's my job as LA natives. I also want to thank you because you've inspired me to continue making music. You've produced my latest video, and you've always had a very firm and strict opinion, but always respectful, bro. You never said, like, you don't have it. It's like, bro, use this, to do that. And you know us artists. We think you're talking Chinese.
Yeah.
You know? But you are the savant that understood all that.
Yeah.
And so now I'm here and I'm going, why?
Hold on. Hey, Armando, I remember I had a little meeting with Zero. We chopped it up. I was like, bro, look, your career, you got to do this, you got to do that, drop this, drop that, do this. We could do fucking 10 videos, do this, do that, you know, like crazy. And he was all hyped. He hit me up like a week later, like, hey, you know what, bro? Like, I'm just gonna take it slow.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna just focus on one video and then, you know, let's see where that goes. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like,
no, it hit me like a ton of bricks that I had to do my music push-ups. Like, I have to get. Like, I know that when you put out an album, you have CDs, beats. It's just, I'm driving to the market, but I'm listening to beats. Okay, that's a song. And you told me that you write your whole album in one session.
Yeah.
That is insane to me. But that's the artist. That's why I love, this was an artist that doesn't traditionally look like an artist. He doesn't look like Iggy Pop. He doesn't look like Perry Farrell from fucking Jane's Addiction.
I don't
He
even know
doesn't
none
look,
of those people are.
These are artists that are like eclectic artists, supposedly, that they write things that are, you know, like Bjork. You know, these artists that are like, you're that, but without the flash, because you sell your own tickets in a small city and they buy your shirts and they invite 100 people to come. You're an insane type of artist. Like I said, a savant. Someone that understands marketing. Someone that understands graphic design. Someone that understands videos. Someone that understands music production. Someone that understands, like, there's so much that you understand. That one time someone told me, man, El Vuh's dope. Why ain't they famous? And I told them, because when we were singing what we were singing, no one understood it. They felt it. They said, I'm connected to it. But does it relate to, I suppose, is don't ditch and drink and take advantage of girls? That's very, you could see it, you can hear it. But if I'm telling you that star movements are aligned with your spirit in certain places on the earth because our ancestors documented 26,000 years. See how complicated the math is? But now I have LA natives. Now I'm explaining that story. And my music starts to become relevant. My new music, my old music. You inspired that, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
That sit down at Starbucks made me, hey, it's not about just being exclusive, quiet, oh, look how dope his lyrics are. There's a mechanism to this. And that's where Armando comes in. And I have LA natives, and I have a community that's hungry to learn. Not learn only deep philosophical knowledge, because we have our Wednesday show for that. We have our Patreon for that. We have a lot of things that me and Armando have reinvented about Zero and my past with El Vuh musically. It's kind of like what you do for Truth Clothing. I'm doing, but on a mic, explaining things. You know, this is my platform. This is my Truth Clothing. And I'm honored that you came and shared a little bit of your time, your talent, your wisdom with your community. Because this is your community. You are my brother. And I'm so proud of you. I just don't know what to say. It's
I appreciate it,
and
man.
for the sake of the
appreciate
podcast, you are a true LA native.
Yes,
There you
LA
go.
native.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you guys for
OG.
having me here. I appreciate it and look forward to coming back one day.
Absolutely. This was a special episode for me because, you know, like I said, I suppose I've known him since he was 17 years old. I remember exactly what he told me when I first met him. Hey, can I film you? And now I'm filming him and showcasing that don't let no one stand in your way. Don't let 500 years of dysfunction and being lied to by colonials who have none of your interest in mind. Believe in yourself. Create your own reality because dreams do come true. It just takes hard work, effort, and relentless ganas, will. That's your indigenous roots, I suppose. And it's an honor to know you, brother.
Likewise. Appreciate it, man.
We'll see you next Wednesday.
#truth. Peace.
#truth. Follow, I suppose. We'll see you next Wednesday, LA natives.